Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Hey, Indiana. Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back once again to Kokomo's. We bring you Game 2 of the HCAC Baseball Tournament. Our second game of the day. It'll be number 4 Transylvania and number 5 Mount St. Joseph for the right to move on to the winner's bracket. Today's second game of the day is brought to you in part by Hampton Inn and Suites, Reynolds Farm Equipment, the Morales Group, Boilermaker Local 374, Piper Logistics, the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and the IndianaSRN Sports Page. Troy Derikowski, Blake Watson with you for game number 2. Blake, by the way, is the SID at Mount St. Joseph, and it's been kind enough for you to take a little time out of your busy day to join us for broadcast number 2.
Troy, it's actually kind of a break for me. This is more what, we do during the regular season. Myself, Chuck Murray, who's here with us, kind of as the baseball operations director for this tournament. We broadcast pretty much all the Mount Baseball home games, all the softball games. So this is more what I'm used to on a day-to-day basis than helping run this large-scale event.
We'll talk about Game 2 between Transylvania and Mount St. Joseph. We're going to talk a lot about the Lions and their season that got them here. Of course, you being kind of on the inside of that, but it should be a great matchup.
It really should. These two teams played about 10 days ago. It was originally supposed to be at Transylvania. Due to the weather and a lot of other stuff, we moved to Midland Field, so our home field. Played a 3-game series. Lions took 2 of 3 against the Pioneers, who are the higher-seeded team, in 3 really well-played games. Transy threw a 3-hit shutout in the series. The Lions got a big come-from-behind win in the final game of the series. It's probably the reason they're in this tournament. It was a really well-played series between two teams that are pretty balanced.
But now you come to tournament time, and you can kind of look back at all those games. They don't mean a whole lot right now because everything starts over in this game that we're going to be playing right now. Let's talk pitching, which is such a huge key when it comes to this tournament, and how the coaches manage that is incredible.
It really is. So the big deal about these teams that play in these first-round games, the first game and then this one, your pitching depth is going to be tested this whole tournament. And Transy turns the Bowles. They're number 1. He's their ace. I'm a little surprised we're not seeing Gutierrez, the lefty who threw a 3-hit shutout against us just 10 days ago. But he's only a freshman. This is his first HCAC tournament. Bowles will give them a really good start here and give them a shot to win this game. But this tournament all comes down to pitching.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then what is the thinking? We talked about the surprise of Gutierrez not throwing. Is it hoping that maybe the pitcher you're going to throw now is going to get you the innings you need and then save him for later.
A lot of people, so there's different ways to look at it. Depends on who you talk to. Chuck Murray looks at it a little differently than a lot of people. Coached for a long time. But you can't likely win the tournament without winning this game. You'll end up having to play too many games in the loser's bracket final, or in the loser's bracket to get to that finals. And then by the time you get to the championship, you're throwing somebody who's been a bullpen guy all year. So, you're hoping Bowles gives you a 7-inning start here, gives you a quality start, and you get late in this ball game, and you can turn it over to your horses in the back end of the bullpen. And then you get the answer and go play Manchester next with your lefty, who's really, really good.
Well, Nolan Miller's going to get the start today for Mount St. Joseph. He comes into this one with a 5-2 record and an ERA of 4.58. Talk a little bit about what you see in him.
So Nolan's he pitches kind of off of his breaking ball. His breaking ball is kind of the start for him. When his breaking ball is good, he's very, very good. When he's missing with a breaking ball, it's a little tougher for him because his fastball plays, but it plays kind of up, and he has a tendency to give up some hard contact with the fastball. Nolan has a chance. He can go out here and shut Transylvania down, or he could go out and have a rough day. It's kind of that way with all the Mounts pitchers.
Going to face a Transylvania team today. They come into this one with a .286 team batting average. They don't hit a ton of home runs. They're not a real powerful hitting team. No doubt about that, but I'll tell you what, this ought to be fun how this thing's going to play out.
Yeah, Transy, you'll see they'll play some small ball. They'll bunt early in the game. They'll move runners. They'll steal bases, and they'll try to manufacture runs while the Lions will play for more big inning stuff.
All right, it'll be Anton Meir will lead things off for Mount St. Joseph, the number 5 seed. 375 hitter, no home runs, 28 runs driven in. He is a stolen base threat. And the first pitch is low and inside. Love to get this guy on base. 32 steals.
Yeah, the top two in the lineup for the Lions both can really run. Coach Murray calls them the daily double because if they go, the Lions go.
That pitch in there for a strike. We are underway game 2. If you didn't catch the earlier game, a very well pitched game from a giving up run standpoint as Rose-Hulman held on to knock off Franklin by a final 3-2. We don't see too many 3-2 games, do we?
Early in the tournament, you'll see more because people were throwing their better guys. It was really interesting because the Franklin starter, I think he ended up walking 4 or 5 guys, but pitched around it and got through 7, which gave them a shot in that ball game, but Rose-Hulman was just a little too much.
So the count 2 balls and a strike now to Meir, the leadoff hitter. Ground ball, backhanded by Tedesco. Throw across the diamond, 1 away.
When they were in Cincinnati a couple weeks ago, I was very, very impressed with the freshman third baseman from Transylvania, Tedesco. Really good player, hitting the 3-hole for him, and made every play he should make.
Bowles this year is 5-2 and ERA 3.07. He has a team best 55 2/3 innings this year. He's had 69 strikeouts and 23 walks, and now he'll be facing Jordan Harley, who's at 375 on the year, hitting from the left side. He'll take the pitch in there for a strike.
Harley slaps it around, can really run. He likes to put the ball on the ground to the left side of the infield and beat it out.
Center fielder Dillon shaded toward left field, and the pitch by Bowles is low for a ball. Dreyer behind the plate, Taylor at first, Mitchum at second, Shiratori's at short, and Tedesco at third. Hedinger, Dillon, and McElfresh in the outfield for Transylvania. The 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1.
Bowles trying to catch the top outside out of the zone, just missed it.
It's a good hitting Mount St. Joseph team. They come in with a .325 batting average, and that pitch is outside.
Harley will look for one pitch in one spot here, something he can, hit in a gap, or he will probably be taking. Lions trying to get base runners here early in this ball game.
Harley gets on base, 24 stolen bases. Hopper to Taylor. Covering will be Bowles, 2 away.
It's a good start for Bowles on the mound, getting those top two out for the Lions. Good job covering first on that play as well. If you can get those guys out, it really hinders the Lions' ability to score.
Andrew Harrison, a .268 on the year, home run and 25 runs driven in.
Harrison, not your traditional 3-hole hitter. Does it with he gets a lot of walks, takes a ton of pitches, gets hit by more pitches. We think he's the all-time record holder for hit by pitches at the mound.
Pitches low and outside. So he didn't mind getting those bruises on the left side of his body, huh?
Last weekend against Earlham, he got hit twice in the same inning and then let off the next inning hit by pitch. 3 times in 2 innings.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball into shallow center field, and coming over the right fielder to make the catch, McElfresh, and that'll do it for Mount St. Joseph in the top of inning number 1.
I chose Franklin because of the location, the community that I felt from when I visited, and I was also given the opportunity to play on the tennis team here. I've been able to complete 2 internships. I was able to go to Arizona and study under a physical therapist there, and I was able to gain a lot of hands-on healthcare experience. So through that, I felt well prepared when applying to graduate schools. I found my future at Franklin College.
They're fine. It's just there's 7 or 8 really good baseball teams in this league right now. I mean, Hanover won it last year and isn't here.
Well, you see the right-hander going now for Mount St. Joseph. We talked about this young man a little bit ago, and I'll tell you what, it certainly is a guy that can get you wins. He has 5 wins, a staff best 5-2 record. You mentioned Nolan a little bit ago, an ERA 4.58 against a Transy lineup, probably not as good as maybe some of the other teams we have seen throughout the league, but when they can get things going, they can be a danger.
Yeah, they absolutely can. And like I said before, they play a lot of small ball. So Shiratori, I don't think we got Dylan out in the series last year or last week. They'll get him on, they'll run. They actually ran into a couple outs at third base trying to steal bags in spots they probably shouldn't have, but they were just trying to manufacture things. But if Nolan's good, Nolan will keep the ball down in the zone and make it really difficult on him.
If anything, he'll make the all-hair team, which you and I would love to be in, that's for sure.
He has some luscious locks.
It'll be Dylan, Shiratori, and Tedesco. We just saw Transylvania over at Rose-Hulman. They won that Friday game really going away. A couple of errors cost Rose-Hulman, but then the Fighting Engineers came back and swept the doubleheader on Saturday, a game that, well, I should say a doubleheader that took a long time to get done because of rain.
That's the way it works, these late-season games. Everybody was dealing with a lot of that weather. This was a crazy spring, Troy. Everybody everywhere dealing with the weather. Home teams playing at away parks, away teams playing everywhere, moving to neutral sites. But everybody got all their games in, and that's what's important.
Has it been as balanced a league? Because you went down to the last day pretty much with 8 out of the 10 teams having a chance to get into this tournament.
Chuck and I talked about probably 2 months ago there was 8 teams for 6 spots. It was just a matter of who was going to get there. And when you get here, each team has a different strength, but I wouldn't be shocked if any team that's in this tournament wins the whole thing. All
right, it'll be Ethan Dillon to lead things off. 6 home runs, 38 runs driven in. He has 21 stolen bases, so Transylvania, their first look now at the right-hander Miller, and the first pitch swinging and fouls it off as Dillon down on the count at 0-1. 4 games today, and then, of course, we'll start it up again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We still have 2 more games later today, 4:30 and 7:45.
These are long days, Troy.
Yes, they are. Pitches up high and inside. And our crew came here last night minus me, so they didn't have to buy my steak dinner. But they all ate well, by the way.
They took care of me.
I bet they did. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch by Dillon in there for strike 2.
Yeah, Nolan from the right side sits usually 86 to 88 on the radar gun with his fastball. He'll touch 90, 91 every once in a while when he reaches back for a little extra.
So he's ahead in the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. He'll work from the stretch, and the pitch on the way is low.
Really good job by Dillon there to not offer it. That was a really good breaking ball down in the dirt. He gave a little offer at it, but did a good job to pull back.
Hear that wind beginning to pick up. It only resulted in 1 home run in our earlier game as it continues to blow from right to left. The break-even pitch on the way is up high, ball 3.
I think Gutzweiler might have thought that was a strike behind the plate the way he reacted. I thought he was ready to throw it down to third.
Yeah, Gutzweiler behind the plate. Martin's at first, Buckle at second, Mason at short, Harrison at third with Harley, Meir, and Sanders from left to right in the outfield. And the payoff pitch on the way. Breaking ball, got him looking.
It's a really good pitch there from Nolan on 3-2 to be able to go to the breaking ball. The young man's feeling his breaking ball early, and like I said in the pregame, that is a big key for Nolan Miller.
That will bring up now Seda Shiratori, and One thing about it as a hitter, I know you want to be aggressive in anything around the plate. You got to swing the bat here, and again, that's what it's the name of the game is. You got to score some runs here. So for Transylvania, unable to get their leadoff hitter on base.
Shiratori bunted a few times for hits in our last series. Wouldn't be shocked to see him use it early in this game.
Takes the pitch low and inside, 1-0. No home runs and 23 runs driven in. He does have 13 stolen bases, and he's about as deep in the batter's box as you can get.
Filling some big shoes of Trent Youngblood from a year ago. He's playing in the Arizona Diamondback system, and he's done it very well.
Pitch high and inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, Youngblood was about as good as you can get, wasn't he?
Best D3 baseball player I've ever seen.
The stretch by Miller and the pitch. Caught the outside corner for a strike.
Good bounce back there on a 2-0 pitch.
Outfield mirror is a little bit shaded toward right field. Other than that, everything straight away. Maybe Sanders a little shallow in right. That will be a chopper over the mound. This could be trouble. Charging and throwing. Great
Nice
play by Harrison.
Really good play by Andrew Harrison. It's kind of in no man's land after it got over Miller's head, and Harry came a long way to make that play.
That's probably a good job there by Miller. I don't know if he could have gotten to it, but generally just leave it alone, let those guys do the work.
Yeah, typically when I'm coaching, I tell pitchers if they've got to go backwards off the mound, leave it alone. If it's a hit, it's a hit. If you can come forward and make the play, that's fine, but don't go backwards. That's how you roll an ankle, something crazy. Nolan Miller needs to be in this game for a while.
That'll bring up Baxter Tedesco, who is the number 3 hitter, a home run, 23 runs driven in, and the first pitch a little bit low for a ball.
Good miss there to start the at-bat. Anytime you can miss below the knees, you're not going to get yourself hurt as much.
Game 2 of 4 today. The stretch by Miller and the pitch. Did he go around? Yes.
Yeah, didn't even need to review on that one. Didn't need to check with the first base umpire. Home plate umpire called that for him.
So the count even at 1-1. Turned out to be a beautiful day. Had a lot of clouds around this morning, but they had burned off, and now we have sunshine here on this Thursday. Bat goes flying. Ground ball, Mason charges and throws, and that'll do it. Another 1-2-3 inning. We head to the second, no score.
April 3rd, 1974, just before 4 p.m., a violent tornado ripped through a significant portion of the Hanover College campus. The storm was part of the famed super outbreak, which included nearly 150 confirmed tornadoes in 13 U.S. states and Canada during an 18-hour period. The outbreak, one of the most violent in recorded history, covered more than 2,600 miles, killed 330 people, injured more than 6,000 people, and left thousands homeless. In Jefferson County, Indiana, 2 F4 tornadoes killed 11 and left more than 300 with injuries. The college suffered $10 million in damage, more than $62 million in today's dollars, including 30 campus buildings and much of the lush forests and trees on campus. Despite the harsh impact of the disaster, a unique educational opportunity arose. Professor Emeritus of Biology Paul McMillan and Jonathan Bailey, class of 75, along with help from HE students, staff, and faculty, developed a method to study the regrowth of the trees in Happy Valley, a heavily wooded area on the eastern side of campus. The purpose of the study was to document the extent of forest destruction of the valley, to determine the immediate post-tornado condition of the woods, and to initiate a long-term study to document the forest recovery. The original roots of McMillan and Bailey's study began in the 1960s during a series of class projects. Happy Valley, then dominated with sugar maple and buckeye, was ultimately decimated by the
Brendan Martin will step to the plate here in the second. No score. Martin, a .377 hitter, 9 home runs and 44 runs driven in. Bulls will have to be careful with this left-handed hitter as that pitch is low and outside.
I'm going to go ahead and get this out there. The young man currently in the box is my nephew.
Oh, yep. Very good.
Really exciting to watch him play in a Lions uniform the last couple of years.
Pitch is outside, 2-0, and what a year he's having.
Yes, he is. It's interesting to watch Bowles pitch to him. He's pitching to him the way most people pitch to him all year. Stay away from the big fella.
It's only 330 down the line. Is that pitch way outside?
He hit a home run here in this park last year in the conference tournament. Had a good tournament last year, narrowly missed being an all-tournament team member.
So 3-0, and 4 pitches, he'll head down to first base. That'll bring up Jake Sanders, 385, 6 home runs, 42 runs driven in.
Sanders is a great story, man. This is his senior year. Played very sparingly over his first 3 years. Struggled to find a position. At one point was trying to pitch, was an infielder, but he's really found a home at right field, and he has hit this year. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, second on the team in RBI with those 42. Now a chance to do some damage here. That's ripped foul.
Sanders is a guy that likes to hack early in counts for sure. That doesn't surprise me, him kind of coming out of his shoes in the first pitch of the at-bat.
Well, he wasn't too far off on that one either. The umpire down at third base had to do a little dance to get out of the way. No balls and a strike now to Sanders, the number 5 hitter here for the Lions. There's a nice pitch. And quickly 0-2.
Bowles bouncing back quickly after walking Martin on straight pitches to get ahead of Sanders here.
The stretch by Bowles. And the pitch low and outside.
Good idea to go to that breaking ball, sweeping away. Kind of try to start it on the outside corner and have it finish in the left-handed batter's box. Sanders did a good job to leave it alone.
Bowles comes set. And the pitch. Hit hard down the line. That'll be a fair ball. Rounding third is Martin. Heading to second will be Sanders with the double. Now they're going to send the runner. The throw. The relay to the plate. Not in time. Runner takes off to third. And a great at bat there for Sanders. And how about Martin scoring from first base?
I've almost said as the ball went down the left field line, it's probably going to be second and third and nobody out because Martin does not run very well. But it looked like the left fielder, Hedinger, had a little bit of trouble picking it up in that corner over there.
Take another look at it right here. That pays to have long legs, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it was a good call. I thought for a second the ball was going to beat him and he was going to be out. But a big break there for the Lions. Good swing by Sanders and a heck of a hustle by Martin.
So here is Ethan Mason, a home run and 32 runs driven in on the year. His first at bat here today. And the pitch in there for a strike.
Mason struggled a little bit with the bat this year. The numbers don't look necessarily like he struggled. He's had a decent year statistically, just not a lot of hard contact. Pitch missed down there. Evens the count 1-1.
So a good start here in the second inning for the Lions. Ethan still hitting at .303 on the year. Chance to drive in the second run here off Bowles. Pitch nearly got him.
This is one of those spots in these tournament games you have to score that run. Runner at third, nobody out, he has to score.
The 2-1 pitch hit down to the third baseman, Tedesco. The throw down to first as you see Taylor backing up on the play there, and there is one away.
Yeah, Sanders almost got caught too far off of third base on that one. Tedesco took a look, thought he might race him back to the bag, but wisely decided to throw it across and just get the out.
Sean Moore, .319 on the year, no home runs and 22 runs driven in. So they remain in on the corners as the pitch by Bowles misses low.
It's a good amount of room between the plate and the backstop here, so anything that gets past the catcher should advance people almost every time.
The 1-0 pitch. Fly ball, right side. McElfresh running toward the line in foul territory, and that one hits the fence and out of play. So another chance here for Moore.
It would have been interesting to see if they would have sent Sanders on that. With McElfresh going away from the plate, you're likely going to send him, but it wasn't very deep. Can't risk getting the third out of the game or the inning at the plate.
Yeah, especially the way he was running, he'd have to turn. That'd be an awful hard thing to do and make a strong throw.
I completely agree.
So 1 ball and 1 strike. Moore back in. The pitch on the way. That's going to be lined into left field. Running to make the catch is Hettinger. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe.
That's a heck of a throw by Hettinger. It was close at third. They're going to appeal that he left early. And they're going to say he was safe. The call is it's the right call. It's the home plate umpire's call on leaving early because the outfield umpires have the catch. So the umpire at the plate watches the tag. Sanders has actually been called out a couple times for leaving early this year, so I was watching that pretty closely.
So he has a reputation. Huh?
Yes, he does.
Jackson Weiler will step to the plate now. He is the catcher at 3 home runs and 21 runs driven in. He swings and misses.
Good pitch there to start the at-bat from Bowles. Kind of pitching backwards, starting with the breaking ball.
Gutzweiler, 269 batting average as the Lions lead it 2-0.
Gutzweiler has a very good throwing arm from behind the plate. That's his biggest skill for the Lions. Anything he does with the bat is just a plus.
And he goes down swinging, but 2 runs in the half inning for Mount St. Joseph. They lead it 2-0.
April 3rd, 1974, just before 4 p.m., a violent tornado ripped through a significant portion of the Hanover College campus. The storm was part of the famed super outbreak, which included nearly 150 confirmed tornadoes in 13 U.S. states and Canada during an 18-hour period. The outbreak, one of the most violent in recorded history, covered more than 2,600 miles, killed 330 people, injured more than 6,000 people, and left thousands homeless. In Jefferson County, Indiana, 2 F4 tornadoes killed 11 and left more than 300 with injuries. The college suffered $10 million in damage, more than $62 million in today's dollars, including 30 campus buildings and much of the lush forests and trees on campus. Despite the harsh impact of the disaster, a unique educational opportunity arose. Professor Emeritus of Biology Paul McMillan and Jonathan Bailey, class of 75, along with help from HC students, staff, and faculty, developed a method to study the regrowth of the trees in Happy Valley, a heavily wooded area on the eastern side of campus. The purpose of the study was to document the extent of forest destruction in the valley, to determine the immediate post-tornado condition of the woods, and to initiate a long-term study to document forest recovery. The original roots of McMillan and Bailey's study began in the 1960s during a series of class projects. Happy Valley, then dominated with sugar maple and buckeye, was ultimately decimated by the 1974 storm. The information gathered in the years leading up to the storm was essential as a baseline for the post-tornado study. McMillan and Bailey's post-tornado analysis showed a loss of about...
Well, the road to championships begins with the HCAC and the work ethic. We see it each and every day in this conference. We move now to the second inning as Mitchum will lead things off now for Transylvania. Mitchum, 2 home runs and 31 runs driven in. Will face the right-hander Miller for the first time this afternoon. And the fastball low, 1-0.
So far, not getting the bottom side of the zone. Force pitchers to throw it up. That usually leads to higher scoring games.
The 1-0 pitch hit foul. Mitchum, a .297 hitter. Miller 1-2-3 first inning, including the strikeout of Dillon. Now has a 2-run cushion to work with here in the second inning. Pitch is outside, 2-1. Miller now with the 2-1 pitch. Big cut and a miss.
Yeah, good job by Miller to challenge Mitchum there. Mitchum's a really good hitter for Transylvania, but he challenged him up in the zone, and Mitchum swings through it.
Good crowd here to see the second game of the day. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Miller set to throw, and it will jam him. Ground ball, Mason near the bag. The throw to first, one away.
Got a bit of a tough bounce off the side of the mound there. Kind of played Mason back to his hand side. Did a good job of slow playing that and staying in front of the ball for the first out of the inning.
Taylor, 298, a home run and 17 runs driven in. By the way, you can follow the game in the live scoring on the Mount St. Joseph website. Just go to the schedule, and right there you'll see live scoring if you want to follow along that way. As Miller's pitch in there for a strike.
Surprising they got that call as it bounced out of the glove of Gutzweiler. Typically, if the catcher doesn't catch it, the umpire doesn't give you the call.
But we'll take it, right?
Amen.
There you go.
We like strikes. Doesn't matter who they're for. We want strikes.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Lined into right field. That's going to fall in for extra bases. Taylor quickly down to second base with a stand-up double.
Good swing there by Taylor, hitting it into the right center field gap. Not trying to do too much with it. Kind of hit it where it was pitched.
And Transylvania getting their first base runner of the day. That'll bring up Chris Hettinger, a 266 hitter, 6 home runs, and 22 runs driven in.
He hit a towering home run in our series against them. Left field every bit of 360, 370. It was a bomb.
So he has a chance right here now to get Transylvania on the board. That, again, their first hit of the day. As Taylor at second base, and the pitch in there for a called strike.
Once again, pitching backwards, starting with the breaking ball.
And we saw that in full force from a pitching management standpoint in Game 1. Franklin used their pitcher through the entire 8 innings. Fly ball center field. Meir to his left makes the catch. Taylor tags and will head to third. So 2 away now for Houston Manning.
If you're the Lions, it's not as big of a deal with the runner on third now because there's 2 outs in the inning. You don't have to worry about him much. Miller can just attack Manning.
Manning, 329, no home runs and 14 runs driven in. DHing here this afternoon.
Really solid right-handed hitter in the DH spot, down in the bottom of the order for Transylvania. A tough out.
You don't see too many 329 hitters. Number 7 in the order. And the pitch by Miller, a home run cut.
Challenge fastball on the first pitch. Manning swings through it. Getting behind 0-1.
Have an update on the softball tournament going on in Transylvania. Bottom of 4, Rose leading Earlham 4-1.
A little bit of a surprise there. We saw Earlham last week, and they can really pitch.
There's a strike.
That fastball looked like it had a little bit of run on it. Nolan does throw a cutter sometimes, and that might have been his cutter. Had a little bit of late break. Makes it really tough on a hitter to square up.
So Manning now down at 0-2. The pitch by Miller, good cut, fouled away.
Nice job by Manning to hang there and stay in this at bat.
Yeah, that's tough at 0-2. Trying to find a pitch you want to hit here as Manning steps back in. Chance with Taylor down at third. Long look this time by Miller.
Lions pitching staff has a tendency to give up a lot of 0-2 hits.
Ground ball toward Mason. Throw to first in time to leave a runner on after 2. 2-0 Mount St. Joseph.
My professional learning community class traveled to Timbercrest, which is a senior living community, and we talked to retired teachers that are actually Manchester University alum.
We had the opportunity to interview Bud Tully, who is a former teacher from here in the community who worked in Manchester schools and in Wabash schools.
One of the things that I took away from the conversation with him was to always try to have fun in your classrooms.
And it really put it into perspective about different ways we can interact with our students as we go into this profession and what ways we can make learning fun.
The person I interviewed said that when you're a teacher, always be prepared for everything. Over-preparing is better than under-preparing. He also said, don't be afraid because you can't change everything. You can at least change one thing, and that's enough. An interesting thing that my interviewee talked about was that she was married when she got here, and she came in as a 41-year-old college student. She originally went to Puerto Rico to teach, and then her and her husband came back here to finish their degrees. She said that it was truly her calling ever since she was like 3 years old.
Some advice that I thought was kind of interesting. He talked a lot about being there and presence with the kids, getting to know them, being more of a friend and a mentor as well.
Just seeing how he lit up when he talked about being a teacher. A story that he shared was he coordinated with his students. They went to go look at the stars at night.
Well, game tested, class ready, life prepared. That's the HCAC. We move to the third. It'll be Buckle, Meir, and Harley due up for the Lions.
Buckle in this 9 hole's been kind of a second leadoff hitter all year.
Takes the pitch low and inside.
Also, he's just a freshman. He's already a conference champion. He was a member of the MSJ football team that won the conference title this year.
Hitting a .304 as he'll take that pitch low, 2-0.
Played at a fantastic high school factory for baseball talent, Hamilton-Baden in the Cincinnati area.
The 2-0 pitch nearly got him. And you don't see very many two-sport players anymore, do you?
It's not a lot, but Buckle's a good one. Didn't play a ton on the football team, returned some punts. He'll play a lot more in the fall.
That pitch is inside, so 4 pitches and a walk to Buckle will move to the top of the order, and Anton Meir.
Yeah, second time in a row that Bowles has walked the leadoff batter, and the pitching coach is on his way out to have a conversation. Leadoff walks, they come back to haunt you, especially with the top of the lineup here. Lions could play some small ball. Anton likely will bunt with the ability to bunt for a hit on every bunt he lays down. So I think you'll see a bunt out of Anton Meir coming out of this.
You know, Transylvania had some difficulty in that doubleheader with walks, and it came back to get them. So I think they kind of know what has happened recently.
Go back to game 1. The Franklin walks in that 1 inning. Rose scored all 3 of their runs that were all walked on, and that was the difference in the game was 1 run. So walks kill you. You can't give up free passes in this spot. And you can, but you got to find a way to work around it, and it's bad when it's the 9-hole hitter.
Yeah. So after a short meeting, Meir will step to the plate 0 for 1. Grounded out to Tedesco in the first inning. Ball set to throw the pitch inside for a ball.
It's 5 straight balls. Meir may have the take here.
The 1-0 pitch grounded right side. Bowles comes off the mound, will flip on to first. He does get the runner to second base.
It works just like a bunt.
So 1 away, and that'll bring up Jordan Harley. Harley 0 for 1 today. So 1 away here in the third. Harley grounded out Taylor to Bowles, who was covering the bag back in the first inning, but a runner at second now. And the pitch low and outside. Harley very dangerous at number 2 at .375. Pitches outside.
Have some conversations coming from the Transylvania dugout asking if it's off. I'm not real thrilled with the strike zone so far.
Well, you get a good look at it right there. We see it from center field.
I think that last one was definitely off. The one before, I think they might have a little gripe.
Good cut fouled away by Harley. 2 balls and a strike. Mount St. Joseph trying to go up 3-0 here in the third. Boy, that one fooled him.
Yeah, that pitch disappeared. Started at the bottom half of the zone and just dove. I think it hit at the plate. Harley had already committed to that swing.
So the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buckle, the lead down at second base. And the pitch by Bowles bouncing away from Dreyer all the way to the backstop. Buckle will advance to third on the wild pitch.
And now you get a run just 90 feet away. It's what I talked about in the last inning. Anything that gets to the backstop, it's going to be really hard for runners to not advance. It's a lot of space back there.
And a full count now to Harley. Still just 1 away here, top of the third inning.
Trying to bring the left side of the infield in to try to cut down the run at the plate.
Payoff pitch outside, ball 4, second walk of the inning.
It's not a terrible walk as long as Harley doesn't get a running jump and steals second base, because you're now 1 pitch away, a ground ball double play away from getting out of the inning.
Here's Andrew Harrison. Flew out to right field in the first inning. Right now, Transylvania hoping for a double play ground ball to get out of this half inning. Pitch is high and outside.
The one thing Harrison will likely not do is get himself out in this situation. Bowles is going to have to throw a strike.
Great opportunity here for the Lions. Outside, he's not even close right now.
Little surprised Transy doesn't have any action in the bullpen yet. He's obviously struggling with his command right now. I think if you get a walk here, you'll see somebody go down there and start loosening up pretty quickly. There's his disengagement.
Bowles set to throw. It's 2-0. The pitch. Off the plate, 3-0. Gave up 2 runs in the second, highlighted by the double by Sanders. And that pitch misses. Third walk of the inning. Bases are loaded. Now for Brennan Martin.
You already used your mound visit, so you can't give him a break. Now the catcher, Dreyer's doing a smart job here, going out to talk to his pitcher, give him a second to take a deep breath, because you're one mistake away from this game kind of getting away from you here early in the third inning. Because obviously Martin is a power threat and capable of hitting it out of here on any pitch.
Taylor coming over from first base. You'll see the home plate umpire head out there to break up that meeting.
It's their second total meeting. Doesn't count as an official meeting with the coaching staff, but you still only get a limited number of those throughout a game.
Well, and here's the ever so dangerous Brennan Martin. We talked about him in inning number 2. He walked and scored. But now bases loaded for the power hitter, and he takes it low for a ball. He really didn't even get a good pitch to look at his last at bat.
And they walked on 4 straight pitches away from him, and I think they'll try to stay away from him again, but if you get behind, you'll have to come in.
There's a strike. Lions crowd thought maybe that pitch was a little bit high and outside. Count even at 1-1. Breaking ball low. 2 balls and a strike. Buckles at third, Harley at second, Harrison at first. Mount St. Joseph can really open this thing up here. If Martin can get a base hit, swings at this one, popped back to the pitcher. They'll make the play at first. They do score the run. That one hit high off the turf.
And lucky that wasn't a double play ball. Martin missed it pretty bad. Bowles thought about the play at the plate. Buckle runs really well, so his real only play was at first base.
And Martin able to drive in the run there. That'll bring up Jake Sanders. Sanders doubled his last time up. So now a 3-0 ball game as Mount St. Joseph. Here's a line drive into center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. 1 run will score. Throw to the plate, and did he drop it? He did. I believe he dropped the baseball, and both runners will score.
That's really tough because he was dead out. That's a heck of a throw by Dylan out there to get the run at the plate, but unable to hold on to it through contact.
So Jake Sanders able to drive in number 2 and number 3 on the day for him in the number 5 hole. And that'll bring up now Ethan Mason. And it's a 5-0 lead.
Big spot there for Sanders to come through with a base hit. I think 2 out runs are killers.
And guess what? All 3 walks came back to score. It's a weird game, isn't it?
It is a weird game. And my good friend Chuck Murray's son, Ryan Murray, would say it's a stupid game because you can hit a ball really hard and you're out, and you can hit it 3 feet and be safe. It's just crazy.
Here's another well-hit ball into right center field. Coming over will be the center fielder, Dylan, to make the catch. But 3 runs on the board for the Lions. They lead this one 5-0.
My name is Annika Ryan, and I am a CICU nurse at Children's Hospital. I graduated in December of 2022 as part of the Magellan program. I always knew I really liked the human body. I thought it was super fascinating, so I knew I wanted to do something in medicine, and I landed on nursing because I loved that it intersected like art and science, getting to be with people, but also getting to learn while I was doing it. Every day looks so different, which is part of why I love doing what I do. Helping parents hold their child for the first time or getting in an outfit. Sometimes it's taking kids to the OR, getting them back from the OR, drawing labs off of lines. I think the 2 things I would say is number 1, find a mentor, like find someone who has been doing this a few years longer than you have. And then 2, like ask all the questions. There's no stupid questions. The more you ask, the more you'll learn, and the more the people around you will respect you. I would say Dr. McPherson. She was like the head of the program when I was there and was also my PEDS professor. The Magellan program is very stressful, very high stakes, and Dr. McPherson was just always reminding me to take a deep breath and just do what I could do. She really helped me along, and then even after I graduated, I feel like she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Knowing that I have the confidence and the knowledge to back what I'm saying is really helpful, and to have hard conversations or feel uncomfortable, I feel like Dr. McPherson and the...
Back here in Kokomo, the HCAC success is measured in sweat, sacrifice, and spirit. Great to have you with us on this Thursday afternoon. It'll be Dreher, McElfresh, and Dylan for Transylvania. They got quite a hole now to dig out of.
Yeah, and you got to start right now. If you can find a way to put something crooked on the board, kind of keep yourself in the ball game, it would be really big.
First at bat for Dreher, 179 hitter on the year, and Miller's first pitch is low for a ball.
Miller continues to work the bottom half of the zone. When he misses down again. You're much less likely to get hurt missing down.
The pitch on the way is in there for a strike. Now with Rose-Hulman winning earlier, they'll play again tonight, 7:45, against the number 2 seed Anderson. Franklin, who lost, will not play again until tomorrow at 10 a.m. High chopper foul. The winner of this game, if it's Transylvania, they play Manchester, correct?
Either way, whoever wins this game will get a 45-minute break and then take on the 1 seed Manchester.
That's not easy.
That is not easy. But it's more like what you do in the regular season for doubleheaders, so it's not completely out of the realm of normalcy. The biggest difference is that team's got their 1 and you're going to your 2.
Check swing foul. The tournament is a little bit different than maybe most people would look at a tournament bracket and say you go here, no matter if you win, you go here. But now it's down to the lowest seed advances now to this one, to the Manchester. The best seed, is we mentioned, Rose moves on to the other game.
Yeah, Miller misses away with that one, run a count 2-2. But the softball tournament is more traditional. They don't reseed. Baseball reseeds, which makes it a little more difficult from a planning perspective, especially for these teams in the second game. But it's probably the more accurate way to determine a champion.
2-2 pitch is inside. Well, no matter really how you spell it, it's tough.
It is tough. It is tough. The winner of this tournament, if they come out of the loser's bracket, will probably play 6 games. And if you stay in the winner's bracket, especially if you're the one seed, you can win it in 3.
Payoff pitch inside for ball 4.
Didn't miss by much on that full count pitch. Miller wanted it. I think our umpire got it right. I think it missed in. Kind of came around the plate with the breaking ball. But a leadoff walk.
Yep, we'll take it. Colin McElfresh, 167 on the season. The number 9 hitter. Second base runner now for Transylvania. Miller giving up his first walk of the afternoon. And the pitch on the way hit him.
This is what can happen to Nolan Miller after a pitch that doesn't go his way. He can have some trouble with that command for the next batter or two. Hopefully he can find a way to settle into this inning again. But what you've done is given Transylvania the opportunity to go back and play small ball again here if they want to bunt.
Ethan Dillon, the leadoff hitter, will step up. He was caught looking in the first inning and now will have a visit to the mound.
Yeah, Lions pitching coach Chris Doros headed out there to have a conversation with his sophomore right-hander.
I'm sure this will be a very quick one here for Miller.
Yeah, with a 5-run lead, you're just out there telling him to just be in the zone, just be competitive. You can't get beat with one pitch. If there's something, mechanically you see quickly, you can tell him that. But for the most part, that is a emotional well check.
Didn't last long, so ready to go. Runners at first and second now for Dillon. Top of the order now for Transylvania, trying to get back into this one down 5-0. Only one hit so far for the Pioneers. That was the double by Taylor. He'll square to bunt. Miller's pitch bunted. Good one there as Miller comes off and ready to throw. And a bang-bang play gets the out at first, but he does sacrifice the runners.
It's a heck of an effort by Dillon to turn that into a bang-bang play. And a good job by Miller. He had to barehand that or he had no shot. It was a really good bunt. They kind of died in between the mound and third base.
Here's Shiratori 0 for 1 today, and chance now to get a run across now for the Pioneers. So Dreyer at third, McElfresh at second base. Wind has picked up a little bit more here in the third inning. And that pitch came inside and hit him, second one of the half inning.
Yeah, the breaking ball is getting away from Miller right now. Almost looks like it's sliding out of his hand.
That'll bring up Tedesco. Chance now for the number 3 hitter.
Now batting third baseman, number 8, Baxter Tedesco.
And Transylvania now, they're one pitch away from getting right back in this thing.
Tedesco is a .328 hitter. A home run and 23 runs driven in, not big numbers.
It's a very difficult out.
Yes. The stretch by Miller and the pitch.
Balked.
Oh, no. And that will force in a run.
Saw it live. The umpire definitely got it right. Miller didn't stop.
So that makes it a 5-1 contest.
There's also no pitch, so the count's 0-0 on Tedesco.
See if Miller can settle down here in the third. It's been a rough one so far. That one, a line drive off the glove of Martin into shallow right field. Runner will head to the plate after one run scores. They'll get 2 across, and it's now 5-3.
Once again, it's free base runners. It's a walk and it's a couple of hit by pitches. Transy with just 2 hits in the ball game. That's a big one there from Tedesco.
That we saw in the third inning. 3 walks, came back to score. 4 overall for Mount St. Joseph, and now you have a walk and 2 hit batters. They have all come back to score. Here's Mitchum. Mitchum 0 for 1 today. And the pitch right at the feet of Mitchum.
Gutzweiler did a good job to keep that in front and keep Tedesco from advancing into scoring position. Tedesco 6 of 9 in stolen base attempts on the year, so could definitely go if he gets a pitch he thinks he can run on.
No activity right now in the Mount St. Joseph bullpen. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch hit into right field, shallow right. Sanders on the run, will make the catch, tried to double the runner off at first and almost got him. It was awful close, wasn't it?
Woo, that was tight. I don't think anybody thought that throw was going to come back into first base like that. Tedesco almost got a little too far off.
Austin Taylor doubled in the second. As a team, only 79 stolen bases this year for Transylvania. This one's lined into center field. That'll be a base hit. First pitch hitting is Taylor, 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, good swing there from Taylor. Short, quick to the ball. Hit it back up the middle for a base hit. It's a real good piece of hitting.
So now it'll bring up Chris Hettinger. Flew out in the second. As the inning does continue now for the Pioneers. 3 runs across. Transylvania, the number 4 seed. Mount St. Joseph, the number 5 seed. The pitch on the way is low.
Miller already at 40 pitches here, 2 outs into the third. Cruised through the first 2, but now the pitch count's way up there in this inning.
Manchester is the number 1 seed. They play at 4:30 today. The pitch is up high. Eighth batter here in this half inning. The 2-0 pitch is up high, 3-0. I would imagine Hettinger is going to be just letting this one go on by.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Fastball right down the middle.
Popped the glove pretty good there.
That's Tedesco down at second base. Taylor's at first. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch on the way. Good breaking ball. So the runners will get a good jump right here at 3-2 and 2 outs. Crunch time here for Miller. Can he get out of the half inning? The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Miller gets a big strikeout. That ends the third inning, but Transy gets 3. They trail it 5-3.
So you're thinking about a degree in engineering, science, or math. You probably have a lot of questions. Will it be difficult? Will I be part of a community? Will I make an impact? At Rose-Hulman, our goal is to give our students the world's best STEM education in an environment of individual attention and support, all while achieving over 98% job placement after graduation. But how does this all work? What does a real student's journey look like? When you arrive for orientation and first step on the 1,300-acre campus, you might think, wow, that's a lot of green. Or, Is their mascot really an elephant? While orientation is about answering some of these questions, yes, our mascot is indeed an elephant. Your first year at Rose is all about building community. First-year students are required to live on campus, studying together with the academic community. So you'll be making new friends at nightly floor dinners, weekend trips planned by the RAs, or special events like the Greatest Floor. You'll even get to build the famous homecoming bonfire. Each hall floor has a sophomore advisor who assists with campus organizations and homework questions, as well as an RA who provides hall education programs.
HCAC pride runs deep in every sport, in every school. We head to the fourth. Moore, Gutzweiler, and Buckle all due up for the Lions, who continue to lead at 5-3.
Big bounce back there from Transy back in the third, answering with a 3-spot of their own to kind of keep this game within striking distance.
Pitch inside, 1-0. Moore, a sacrifice fly in the second inning. Scored Sanders to make it 2-0. Big cut and a miss. The pitch on the way, check swing, and he went around. Moore has an RBI to his credit today as that pitch low and away.
Bowles continues to try to use that slider away as his put-away pitch. Not getting it close enough to the zone yet, though.
Break-even pitch, low and inside.
Bowles on the verge of walking his leadoff hitter for the third straight inning.
That'll be chopped foul left side. That'll at least he's consistent. Boy, but you look at those walks down there. 4 of them have scored for Mount St. Joseph.
It's a telltale sign in these games, man. It really, really is. Free bases hurt you. You can say the same thing for Miller. The 3 he gave up were walking hit by pitches.
Ooh, that didn't miss by much. Moore will walk, and that again will be the third leadoff walk given up by Bowles.
Coach Getsy's going to go out to the mound now, have a conversation with his right-hander. This is the second mound visit of the game for the Pioneers.
Bowles has now thrown 59 pitches and officially just 3 innings.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Lions bunt here. Gutzweiler struggled a little bit with the bat. Find a way to get a runner into scoring position.
This will be Jackson Gutzweiler, struck out in the second. All but 1 inning, the Lions have had runners on base. Pitches inside as Gutzweiler squares to bunt.
Transy has a right-hander, Luke Patton, warming up in their bullpen.
There's a strike. Count is even at 1-1. Close one here with that 5-3 score. Had a 3-2 score earlier. Bowles set to throw. He'll show bunt. It rode inside, goes off the catcher's mitt of Dreher, and the runner advancing down to second base.
So now you got him in scoring position, and you can bunt to third if you want because the count's 2-1. So you still have a strike to play with if you'd like to bunt him all the way over to third.
Pass ball that time on Dreher. He'll show bunt once again, the pitch, and he will bunt it down the third base line, and it'll go to 2-2.
Yeah, not a great bunt there from Gutzweiler. Bunted it a little too hard at Tedeschi. You want to bunt it hard at third base because you want to force him to field it so you can easily get that runner in behind him. There was a little too much on that, and it got fouled pretty easily.
And Tedesco has to make that decision on whether to charge in and make the play or hang back, depending on where the bunt is located.
Bowles should go breaking ball away here.
And the pitch is low, 3-2.
I don't know why you're squared to bunt with 2 strikes.
So we'll go to 3-2. Morgan the lead down at second base. He'll square to bunt yet one more time. And he will bunt it out front of the plate. Play down at third. Tag laid on. And is he safe?
They called it a foul ball.
Okay, so it will be a foul ball. And
So
that'll do it,
Gutzweiler's
though,
out.
for Gutzweiler, yeah.
Goes down as a strikeout swinging for Gutzweiler. Not sure I like that decision-making from the Lions coaching staff. Once you get 2 strikes, it's just not enough reward for the risk.
So Gutzweiler strikes out for the second time. That'll bring Austin Buckle to the plate. Part of that 3-run third inning with a walk and a run scored. And the pitch on the way is hit foul. Yeah, I've generally never been a big fan of trying to bunt when you got 2 strikes like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a pitcher, I'm not giving you a good pitch to bunt on because you're going to offer at it. You're not going to give up on it because you want to get it down. I'm not going to throw away at a zone, but I'm going to throw you something with a wrinkle.
Here's the strike. Quickly 0-2 now to Austin Buckle. That is Moore down at second base as Bowles set to go to work. And the 0-2 pitch on the way got him swinging.
Good breaking ball there from Bowles.
So after the leadoff walk to Sean Moore, back-to-back strikeouts, and now Anton Meir will step to the plate. He's 0 for 2.
Not very often this season has Anton come to the plate 0-2 in a ball game.
Yeah, not with a .375 batting average. One of the leaders in the HCAC will take that pitch for a strike. Plus, they'd love to get him on base. His kind of speed. We mentioned his 32 stolen bases coming in. The 0-1 pitch, a little bit low.
Kind of surprised with where Tedesco is that Meir hasn't given any indication that he might try to bunt for a hit.
One ball, one strike, and the pitch outside, 2-1. Mount St. Joseph, 5 runs, just 2 hits today. They've been taking advantage of the walks by Bowles. Pitches outside.
Now in this spot, Anton's looking for one pitch in one spot, probably away from him. He really likes to use the right side of the field, hit something over the second baseman's head or through the 4-hole over there.
Bowles now with 68 pitches here in the 4th. Fastball in there for a strike.
Top of the zone, but good comeback pitch there from Bowles. Fastball right at the belt. Not a pitch Anton would want to swing at anyway.
Moore with the lead at second. Here's the payoff pitch, grounded back up the middle. Shiratori the throw to first in time as Mount St. Joe will leave a runner on. Lions lead at 5-3.
My name is James Wagner, and I teach biology. My name is Kurt Godey, and I teach sculpture, photography, video, and community engagement through the arts.
I'm Peter Fossel. I teach philosophy, PP&E, and film studies. The emphasis on teaching at Transylvania is rare these days. At many universities, the focus is on professors doing research, giving talks, but at Transylvania, the students come first.
When students take a class with me, I hope what they get out of it is to understand problem solving and understand that there's value to first figuring out what a problem is and then secondarily figuring out how to address that problem.
One of my goals in my class, and I think it's distinctive, is that I call on every student, engage in every student every day. And I work really hard to create an environment where the students feel comfortable. One of my favorite moments is when I call on a student to sort of comment on some data we're looking at or comment on this concept that we're exploring. And for that student to say, you know, I don't quite understand that. Because that tells me the student is comfortable enough to sort of reveal their lack of understanding in a way that we can all then say, yeah, okay, let's see if we can figure out why you're not understanding it.
Teaching isn't just about conveying information or in teaching skills, but it's awakening in students the passion for thinking, the passion for ideas, the passion.
Take a look at the pitcher, Miller, ready to go to work here in the fourth. It'll be Manning, Dreher, and McElfresh, as Transylvania trailing it by 2.
Yeah, if you're Miller, you're out there looking at 7, 8, 9. You got to find a way to put a 0 up on the board and try not to face over the minimum through this inning, so they lead off at the top of the order with nobody on base.
First pitch grounded to the right side off the end of the bat as Buckle throws to first. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Good play there from Buckle. Good pitch from Muir. And regardless of who the team is, I love 1 pitch outs.
Here is Bryce Dreher, walked and scored one of those 3 runs in the third. Does make the game go faster, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. As a person who works these games all the time, we like quick outs.
We did that softball game over at Terre Haute, and then I only took an hour.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Pitch by Miller. Low and away.
Coach Murray and I did the Mount Transy game, started at 5, and I left to go home at 11:15.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's a long day of softball.
The 1-0 pitch, high and tight. That's just extra money in your pocket, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
You didn't know that, like, with Keith and I, we get paid by the hour.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to stay in this job then.
There you go. 2 balls, no strikes to Dreher. The pitch by Miller way outside. Always love watching the reaction of a pitcher like Miller when things aren't going well. That's when you kind of watch their body language and how they react to it.
And he's still a young guy, so he struggles with that at times.
There's a strike. Dreher thought if I throw the bat over here, maybe it'd give me a ball. Huh?
Usually when you do that, you don't get the call. You don't assume in the box. Umpires don't like that very much.
3-1 now to Dreher. There's another strike.
I always like when a guy goes 3-0 and then pounds the zone with 2, and we're like, man, do that the first 2 pitches, not the 5th and 6th.
Payoff pitch on the way, hit foul.
Good job by Dreher to foul off a tough fastball in on the hands.
Do you think too many pitchers these days just try to pitch around hitters too much?
Everybody wants the strikeout nowadays. It's not great to put balls in play. They want everybody to go back to the dugout after striking out.
Fastball up high, that'll be a 1-out walk.
I always think of the Bull Durham quote, strikeouts are fascist. Ground balls, let everybody play.
That's right. Here's Colin McElfresh, was hit by a pitch, scored a run in the third. Well, unless you can hum it up there at 96, 98 miles an hour, you probably need to go ahead and...
Correct. You need to be competitive and in the zone.
Pitch is inside.
Pitches with run, pitches that move. I mean, these kids nowadays couldn't watch Greg Maddox pitch.
Right. Drive them nuts, huh?
Oh, man. It's all about the radar gun and strikeouts.
The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. But isn't that kind of what the mantra is for the scouts? You know, they're looking for guys who can throw heat.
If you don't throw over 93, you're not even getting a sniff anymore.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Hit foul to our right. Well, and the other thing is, and I read this not long ago, where everybody's wondering why we have so many injuries with pitchers. Well, you're trying to throw 100 miles an hour, your arm's going to fall off eventually.
The arm is not made to throw overhand as hard as they throw. It's just not built that way. That's why you can see softball players pitch 150 pitches and pitch the next day.
Exactly.
It's just a natural movement. Throwing a baseball is unnatural.
The 1-2, got him looking.
Pitch. Front door breaking ball there from Nolan. Went with the cutter on the first two, and then went to the breaking ball right in the front door.
That'll bring up Ethan Dillon. Not trying to sound old, but remember, guys, a long time ago, they threw 300 and some innings in Major League Baseball a long time ago and complete games all over the place.
Yeah, they didn't care, but they were throwing at 84.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you had your Bob Gibsons and your Nolan Ryans, but most of the guys were not that.
That's right. Pitch is low. Good job there by Guts Weiler to keep it in front of him. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know what changed over the years.
The goal of baseball is to score more runs than the other guys, right?
Yeah.
So if you get people out, it shouldn't matter how hard you throw.
I agree.
Some of the best pitchers I've ever seen move it around, different speeds, different eye levels.
Ground ball right side. Buckle will flip on to Mason to get the out. Down at second base as Mount St. Joe continues to lead at 5-3.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh main lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Hey, I want to thank the great folks at the Hampton Inn and Suites. They will make our stay very pleasurable here in Kokomo. You want to make the most of every stay, make sure you join the Hilton Honors Club, and you get great deals. Their best price, free Wi-Fi, choose your room, and even a digital key. Hampton's Inn and Suites, proud sponsor here of the HCAC baseball tournament. As we move now to the fifth, it'll be Harley, Harrison, and Martin for Mount St. Joseph.
Big bounce back there in the bottom of the fourth for Miller after giving up the 3 in the third. So we've had consecutive zeros for the first time in the game. Well, since the first, I guess.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at the scoreboard.
Pitch is on the way, and it's low and inside.
Troy, quickly, I'd like to take the time to thank you guys from IndianaSRN for what we do here. It would not be possible without you guys, so we greatly appreciate it as a league and as all the schools in the league.
It is a great time for us to be here, too.
It's quite an undertaking, man. People don't understand. Like us as SIDs, we know how much it takes to put one of these broadcasts on, but if people came up in this press box, see all you guys have done, it's amazing. It counts, I think, 3-0, yeah.
I have the easy part.
You get the easy part, and I'm thankful for you guys letting me join for these broadcasts here and there. It's a lot of fun.
We just know after hanging around SIDs at this level, it's not easy.
It's not.
I don't know how sometimes all of you do it.
It can be a lot of work. We did a lot last year at this tournament, and I'd also like to take a quick thank you to Jay Jones, the conference commissioner, letting me kind of put together a crack team of SIDs that are here. We got Ashley Birchmeyer from Hanover, Bill Hannafeld and his assistant Colton Steiner from Bluffton, James Vincent from Rose-Hulman, Aaron can't think of Aaron's last name right now. Schneider, there we go. Aaron Schneider from Anderson. My apologies, Aaron, if you go back and listen. And Jacob, his assistant. We got a really good group here this year, doing a fantastic job trying to bring you this tournament at a high level.
Hey, for you to get all those names, I mean, gee whiz, 99.9% you got there. So I wouldn't remember them all.
We look at about 400 names a year.
Yeah.
SIDs looking at these rosters. I randomly remembered some kids high school that played here like 3 years ago the other day, and Melanie or Flecker was shocked as Harley walks on 5 pitches.
You know, when you're coaching, I always told my players, you know what? I have to remember all your names. You only have to remember mine. We have a pitching change as we will take a timeout. Tell you about the new pitcher for Transylvania next.
As a student at Anderson University, my biggest impact was Trius. My first Trius trip, I signed up for a trip to South Dakota. And that was my first trip ever going anywhere that was a different culture. So we went to Wounded Knee Reservation. And I always say to students after that trip, I knew that I wanted to explore everywhere, because even though we were in the United States, it felt like a totally different country that we were in. And then I got the travel bug.
I've had the pleasure of going on 3 different Trius trips at my time at Anderson. I got to go to Europe with Dr. Stephanie Leiter. We went to Czech Republic, Austria, and Slovakia. Service has always been a really big part of my life. Like growing up, my parents were missionaries, so I've had international experience that way. But it's always different to go by yourself and not with people you may have known your whole life. But you get to live life together in a foreign country, so you're kind of bonded by being in a foreign environment. But you also get to kind of serve out and live out your faith together, which is a very cool experience.
I have been on 2 different Trius trips. The first one I had the opportunity of doing was to the Nordic countries with the Anderson University Chorale. We went to Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. We sort of saw the performances as a little bit of service. The idea was to go to places and to share our ability to make very...
Well, Blake, we have a new pitcher now for Transylvania's Luke Patton will take over.
Yeah, the 6'3" junior right-hander from Ashland, Kentucky. This is his... Lost him, my apologies. This is his 13th appearance. He's had 8 starts, a 4.35 ERA, 41 1/3. He's given up 20 earned runs and struck out 25. Struggles a little bit with command, 23 walks.
First pitch is fouled away. Good cut by Andrew Harrison. Of course, the runner on base will be the responsibility of the starter, Drew Bowles. But Bowles had a rough day with his command.
With the low pitch count, though, should Transy go a little further in this tournament, I could see them bringing Bowles back on Saturday for some sort of relief appearance.
No balls and 1 strike now to Harrison. Harrison 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. The pitch outside for a ball.
Harley over at first base, 24 of 29 on stolen base attempts this year, so obviously a threat to go at any point in this at-bat.
Bowles will go the 4 innings today, giving up 5 runs, 3 earned to this point. Pitch in there for a strike. 79 pitches for Bowles before he left the ball game in 4 innings.
Just struggled with the command really since the first inning.
Pitches outside.
Dreher, a pretty good catch and throw guy behind the plate for Transylvania. Little surprised to see Harley not moving here early in this at-bat. Now that it's 2-2, Harrison's a good bat-to-ball guy, so you might see a little run and hit action.
And Harley, a very short lead. This will be popped up foul territory, and it will stay that way.
Harley, one of those guys that takes a short lead and then kind of gets that jumping lead like Earlham's teams used to do. They don't really do it as much as they used to, but he likes to try to time up the pitcher and get that running lead.
You know, I used to help them with that base running at my speed.
Really?
Yeah.
You look like you can run, Troy. Me too, right? I'm a speed demon at 5'8", 260 pounds.
You're very sneaky fast. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Low and inside. Runner takes off, and that will be a stolen base.
Dreyer had trouble getting it out of his glove. He had a shot if he comes through cleanly with that. Harley did not get a great jump.
So now 3 balls, 2 strikes to Andrew Harrison. Runner in scoring position now for the Lions.
Now Andrew Harrison's job is to move the baseball. If it's a strike, push it to the right side if you can, and move Harley 90 feet closer.
Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball up the middle. Be the shortstop, Shiratori. The throw to first is in time. Runner will stay at second base, and that'll bring up now Martin.
Good play by Shiratori there. They're going to have a conversation. Coach Getze and the umpire at second base. He's going to ask for, I think he thinks that Harley interfered with the ability to make that play. Not real sure what the argument is here.
One thing I like about Coach Getze is he's very animated.
Oh, it's fun to watch him have conversations with umpires.
And I'm watching the umpire. It seems to be very understanding in the conversation.
And he's showing a lot of patience, so he must think Coach Getze has some sort of beef with what happened, so he's allowing him to air his grievances. And as long as he does it in a respectful way, he should be allowed to do that. I have trouble with umpires that can't hear a conversation from a coach.
Crowd loved it.
They loved it. The Transy bench loved it.
Here is Martin, 0 for 1 today with a walk and a run scored. Big power hitter from the left side. And the pitch on the way, swung on and missed.
First pitch he's seen in the zone, inside all day. In 2 at-bats, he's seen everything away from him.
And a little smile on his face right there, too.
Yeah, you knew he missed a good one. I think that was a changeup.
Patton set to throw. It'll be Harley getting the lead down at second base, and the pitch low and inside.
Transy's employing the shift that we've seen a lot more as the season goes on against Martin. Shiratori directly behind the bag, basically, and Mitchum about 30 feet deep into the grass because Martin does not run well, so if he hits it hard, you're going to get him out.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch to Martin, high and inside. I think we should mic up the coaches one day.
I love it. I've talked about doing that for video stuff.
Yeah.
And it scares me.
A lot of bleeping?
It scares me. Can't do it to a football coach, that's for sure.
Oh, no. The 2-1 pitch, late swing foul.
Martin very tardy on that one. That was a pitch he likes. Middle in, belt high. He was just late.
When I tried to get Steve Sakasitz to do it, he always said he'd be willing to do it. He never cussed. He
really?
Said, oh, yeah.
I believe that.
2-2 the count now to Martin. At least that's what he said.
I like Coach Sack's a good dude.
Yes, he is. Break-even pitch, popped up left side. Tedesco is there, and he battles the sun, makes the catch 2 away.
Not a good out there. Harrison and Martin both unable to have productive outs. Not able to move Harley from second base.
Well, Jake Sanders has a hot bat going today, 2 for 2, a double, a run scored. He singled in the third.
Sanders has had a heck of a senior season for the Lions. Again, as I said before, kind of came out of nowhere. We always knew he could swing it, but just didn't really have a position.
Well, it's always nice to see somebody like that take advantage of it, too.
And a wonderful kid.
Foul tip, got a piece of the umpire, too.
Our home plate umpire will give himself a break. Usually it's them walking away to give the catcher a break. And the catcher walks out to have a conversation with Patton to give the home plate umpire an extra minute or two.
That ball coming off that'll ring your bell, won't it?
Yeah, it's brutal. I do not miss umpiring little kids baseball. Your shins would be beat up, getting hit all over, and it's not worth the money. I'm really glad we're able to have a 4-man crew for this tournament. It makes it so much easier on those guys.
Yeah, it's tough to cover with 2, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You just miss things, and the mechanics are what they are.
That one's hit well into the gap, and that's going to fall in for extra bases. Harley will score into second base. The throw comes in a little bit off the mark, and Sanders drives in another run. It's now a 6-3 ball game.
Yeah, heck of a ball game going so far for Jake Sanders. A couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs, and another really good job by Dylan. He had a play there at second base. He cut that thing off in the gap and got it in quickly. I thought they might get him out as Sanders tried to stretch that.
Here's Ethan Mason. Mason today 0 for 2, but has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Here in the top half of the 5th inning, there's a wild pitch by Patton.
It's amazing how quickly innings can change. You give up a big double, and it just kind of unsettles you on the mound. Patton's got to take a second and get a deep breath, relax, find a way to find his zone again, because the beginning of the inning, he was throwing it very well.
That is his 7th wild pitch. He and Bowles and Connor Arnold all have 7 on this staff. Well, now another run only 90 feet away, and taking all the way is Mason, and the count even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Patton's got to be careful. He came really close to not pausing on that last pitch, and the umpires have already called 1 balk in this game, so they're definitely going to be watching for it. And as I say that, he takes a nice long breath.
That one back up the middle. Patton couldn't get to it. Run will score. Mason drives in a run, 2 runs across. It's now 7-3.
Yeah, Mason did a good job of using the big part of the field. Down off the end cap, so he didn't hit it real good, but hit it good enough to get it past Patton. And then once it got past Patton, it was a base hit.
Here is Sean Moore. Moore, his last time up, walked. He sacrificed back in the 2nd inning. And another multi-run inning here for Mount St. Joseph.
Yeah, continue to keep your distance between yourself and your opponent. Once you get that lead, if you can find a way to add incremental runs throughout the game, or Coach Murray and I call it prudential insurance, it just makes it that much harder for them to come back.
That's in there for a strike.
Transy had kind of stolen momentum away with that 3-run bottom of the 3rd, and then both teams went scoreless, so the Lions have kind of gained that momentum back to the head early.
Pitch low and away.
Should be 1-1 or 2-1.
Yeah, 2 balls and 1 strike. Scoreboard a little bit behind on the strikes. 2 away here in the 5th inning. Now a 7-3 ball game. That pitch caught the outside corner. Mount St. Joseph, again the number 5 seed, hoping to pick up a win and move on to take on Manchester. The break-even pitch, high chopper over the mound. Yep, it's going to be tough. Tedesco throws it away. Rounding 3rd will be Mason, and I believe that ball may have gone into the bullpen, and they're going to make the runner go back to 3rd.
It's the right call because it's from the time of release. You get 1 base. It'll be 2nd and 3rd for Jackson Gutzweiler.
Well, that'd have been a tough play for anybody.
Yeah, as much as I watched Tedesco 2 weeks ago, I'm actually really surprised he didn't make that play. He is really, really, really good defensively.
Gutzweiler steps to the plate. Rough day so far, couple of strikeouts. But now runners at 2nd and 3rd. And that pitch in there for a strike. Tedesco picking up that throwing error. This would be big right here to get out of this half inning for Patton, and also big here for Gutzweiler if he can deliver. As he takes that one for a strike, it's 0-2.
Good job by Patton to just attack. Gutzweiler's not had very many good at-bats in this ball game. He's kind of looked overmatched at times at the plate, and Patton just coming right after him.
The stretch by Patton. And the 0-2 pitch got him swinging. Base is open. They'll throw down to 1st just to make sure. So a strikeout of Gutzweiler for the 3rd time today, but 2 runs across. It's now 7-3.
Founded in 1855 as the South's first interracial and co-educational college, Berea is committed to ensuring that financial barriers never limit a student's potential. For more than 130 years, we've upheld a powerful promise: no student pays tuition. We also cover housing, food, and fees for most students. We've relied primarily on endowment earnings as well as critical government partnerships to make this possible. Federal and state grants provide $6.4 million, about 10% of our annual budget, through Pell Grants, scholarships, and Work College's funds. These essential resources support critical student services, including our nationally recognized labor program, where each student gains practical work experience to complement their classroom learning. This support, along with our endowment, allows Berea to prioritize student success over tuition fees, empowering graduates to lead, serve, and achieve their dreams. I'm Julian, a senior communication major. Thanks to federal and state support of Berea's mission, I and every other Berea College student can focus on our dreams rather than debt.
Back here in Kokomo, we have a final in the softball tournament in Transylvania. Rose-Hulman knocking off Earlham by a final of 6-2. Keep you updated on any more scores from the softball tournament. Shiratori, Tedesco, and Mitchum all due up for Transylvania here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Shiratori today 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 3rd. So Miller back in for another inning of work. Got roughed up for those 3 runs in the 3rd. Came back strong after giving up that walk in the 4th inning, but battled back to get the strikeout. And then the force out of Dreyer. Shiratori will step to the plate now as Miller set to throw, and his pitch in there for a strike.
Miller out there now with that 4-run lead and should just settle in and throw strikes. Not try to do too much.
The pitch on the way is low and outside. Transylvania again just 3 runs in the 3rd. Stranded a runner at 3rd back in the 2nd inning. That pitch didn't miss by much. They've left 4 runners on base through 4 innings. The 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. That'll even the count at 2-2. Home half of the 5th inning now for Transylvania. Ground ball back up the middle. Buckle will field and throw. There's one away.
Big first out there here in the bottom of the 5th. Gave up 2, or got your 2 in the top. Find a way to retire the side in order here in the bottom, and it completely changes this game.
If Mount St. Joe goes on to win, short break to get ready for the next game.
Again, it's more like your normal regular season. They already know who they're going to throw in their second game, but the question will be how quickly can that person get ready.
Right.
That's why we have the little bit extended break here.
That's lined up the middle. Base hit Tedesco, his 2nd of the day.
Good player, man. Good player. That kid could play for me any day of the week.
And here's Mitchum.
Mitchum's been a run-producing machine in his career for Transylvania.
Mitchum 0 for 2 today, lined out his last time up in the 3rd. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss. I guess the biggest difference in that next game is Mount St. Joseph or Transylvania, they have to play a team that's rested in Manchester. So
there's 2 schools of thought on that. Some people would like to be the rested team. Some teams would like to be the hot team. Oh, good breaking ball in the front door there from Miller that Mitchum swings through. It depends on how this first game goes. If it's a heartbreaking or a late inning kind of rally you have to have where you expend a bunch of energy. If you can just feel momentum throughout the game, and momentum in baseball is all about who's pitching the next ball game anyway, so it just matters what you're going to answer that with.
This one hit well into right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So now runners at first and second. And that'll bring up now Austin Taylor.
Really good base running out there by Tedesco. He got kind of 3/4 of the way. For a while there, I thought Muir might be able to run that thing down. And he has to be far enough away to where he can get back to the bag on a catch, but where he can't be caught out in front of him. So it was a good base running decision by Tedesco.
Taylor's had a good day, 2 for 2, including a double back in the second inning.
Not the guy the Lions want to see up right now with 2 runners on.
Miller set to throw, and the pitch is up high. Nobody throwing in the bullpen as of yet. Miller with the 1-0 pitch, inside 2-0.
This is a big pitch in this at-bat here. Try to get yourself back in a positive count. You're not ahead, but back positive, but without something that's too good for him to hit out of here.
The 2-0 pitch hit foul to our right, and that'll go out of the ballpark. So we'll go to 2-1.
Good offer on that 2-0 pitch from Taylor there. Attacking the fastball.
The 2-1 on the way is inside, 3 balls and a strike. You know, Transylvania, they made that long road trip to Rose-Hulman, then they turn around and make a long road trip all the way up here.
Yeah, it's not a great trip for them.
No.
It's not too bad for everybody else in the league, but it's a little bit far for Transy.
The 3-1 pitch is low and outside, bases loaded. And that'll bring up now Chris Hedinger. Hedinger 0 for 2.
I think you're going to have some action starting the Lions bullpen.
And that's why you see a meeting now on the mound to give the chance for the bullpen to get going.
I thought I saw our pitching coach get moving, but nobody's heading down there. I'm a little surprised.
Now I see somebody heading that way. And then you always are able to do the I'm going to tie my shoe just to give me a little more time routine.
Baseball is an interesting game when they do stuff like that. Oh, I like the little bullpen cam. That's really cool. I didn't know you guys set that one up.
Oh. I like that myself. Our producer, Jerry Collins, able to bring that one to our attention today, and so good job there as Hedinger will step in. The pitch by Miller is low and outside for a ball.
Continues to struggle with command of that fastball.
Transylvania's had base runners in every inning other than the first. The pitch on the way, didn't miss by much on that one, 2-0. Great patience here by the Lions coaching staff, huh?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we don't have somebody up and warming. I think if he walks him here, you'll definitely see somebody go down there and start cranking it up. But as long as you're still ahead, you can give him a little bit of rope.
Yeah. Fly ball into right center field. Coming over is Meir to make the catch. Runner at third Tedesco will tag, throw to third, and no play there. And then nice base running there by Hettinger to get to second base on the throw.
Yeah, it's 2 outs in the inning now, so not a terrible play, but Mears got to throw that ball back into second base and keep the double play in order. No, double play ball, the easier base. You have to keep that force in order. It's not the right decision there.
Houston Manning will step to the plate. So now 2 away. Manning 0 for 2 today. And still runners at second and third. Now a 7-4 ball game as Miller, trying to stay alive on the mound, opens up with a strike.
Pitch is still at a manageable 78. He's not done yet. As long as they continue to lead, he'll go for a little while probably.
Pitch on the way. Good cut that time by Manning.
Yeah, he didn't miss that one by much.
You know, for a fellow that big, you'd think he might have a couple of home runs in there, but he does not have a home run this year.
We had a first baseman built like him a couple of years ago. Was a great hitter, but shockingly was like a gap-to-gap doubles guy. Never hit any home runs. I think he hit one in his career.
Mitchum at third, Taylor down at second base. And the 0-2 pitch lifted down the line. Let's see if it'll stay fair. It will not.
That was a lot of trouble off the bat. Sounds like a lot of end caps being hit in this ball game. I can't really tell from watching it, but the sound, it just sounds a little weird.
Had a broken bat earlier, too, didn't
Unbelievable. I've never seen that. I mean, I guess I have, but you very rarely see a metal bat snap in half the way that did.
So no balls, 2 strikes now to Manning.
Miller trusts Gutzweiler enough. He should bounce a breaking ball here and then maybe climb the ladder with the fastball.
Miller now comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Good cut again, fouling it away.
That wasn't the breaking ball, but it was the cutter. And it was down and away from Manning. He did a really good job to stay alive in this at-bat, fouling that thing off. Still look for a soft away at some point in this at-bat to try to get Manning to swing through it.
No balls and 2 strikes now to Houston Manning. 2 runners on and 2 outs.
Could be a big spot in this ball game here, Troy.
Yep. What will Miller come with this time? The pitch. Popped him up right side. Martin giving it look, and it will go out of play.
That fan's got to make that play over there, Troy.
Give him an E. I almost thought that was Keith Myers. Keith has never caught a foul ball in his life. He's never caught a fair ball in his life.
Keith, I'm not going to let him give you too much more of a hard time up here.
So we'll stay at 0-2 now to Manning as he battles here in the home half of the 5th inning. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Oh, my, awful close.
Yeah, the entire Lions team walking off the field thinking they had a strikeout there.
Pretty tight zone, isn't it?
It's been consistent. I'll absolutely give him credit for that. It has been a little tight, but he hasn't expanded it in different spots, which is all you really can ask for. As long as it's the same strike zone from the 1st to the 9th, and for both teams, you live with it.
Pitch almost got away from Gutzweiler.
Good job from Guts to keep that in front of him. Keep it around the plate and not allow the run to score. Miller might try to climb the ladder here. Go belt a little bit above with that fastball, maybe the cutter, and try to put Manning away.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 runners on. Manning has had a long at-bat right here. Miller, the pitch, Missed it outside.
Miller came really close to balking again with a runner at third base. They called a pitch clock, so it was a ball anyway.
Ah.
Yes, so now I know the third base umpire is the one who has the pitch clock.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Houston Manning. The payoff pitch on the way. That's going to be lined in left field for a base hit. Mitchum will score. Taylor heading to the plate. He will score. And Houston Manning comes up with a big 2-run base hit.
That's a heck of an at-bat by Manning. Didn't give in, fouled off some really tough pitches, and ended up winning the battle with a 2-run single. And it continues to be a back-and-forth ball game.
Second time that Transylvania has come up with a 3-run inning. And that'll bring up Bryce Dreyer. Dreyer's walked twice today. Still no activity in the Mount St. Joseph bullpen. It's now 7-6, and that pitch misses outside.
Go back to a couple of batters ago on that fly ball that Muir caught and tried to throw the runner out at third. Those are the small things in a game of baseball that you don't think about, but it would be first and third here, and you'd still be up by 2 if you would have split the runners. It changes the game completely.
So now Tedesco with 2 RBI, Manning with 2 RBI. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Dreyer. The stretch by Miller and the pitch off the fist on this one. Ground ball to Harrison. The throw to first in time. But the damage done. 3 runs across. It's 7-6. Mount St. Joseph.
The Discovery Program was designed for students coming out of high school who show academic potential and maybe they don't meet one of our initial admissions requirements here. So the program is designed for these students to have extra tools for success, such as skills building classes as well as access to our Learning Resource Center. There's 3 different admissions requirements for the program. The first thing that we're going to need is an essay. This is just explaining why you think you'll be successful here at Bluffton University in our Discovery Program. There's no word count, no format or anything, just you explaining why you'll be successful here. The second thing we'll need is a recommendation form. This is just a form that I email to you, and you can give it to your teacher or a guidance counselor and have them fill it out. And once I get both of those, we go forward with an interview with Jackie Slinger. She is our Director of Academic Development Services here, and that is the last requirement we have. The submission process is very simple. All you have to do with the essay and recommendation form is send them directly to me at my email address, and then the interview, that's something that I'll set up. I'll find a good time for you and Miss Slinger, and we'll get that all set up for you. So after I receive all these materials and you get your interview done, we'll move forward in making an acceptance decision, and I'll reach out to you within 2 to 3 days directly over text message, and I'll let you know if you were accepted into the program. I'm very excited to meet you. I'm excited to read over your essays and recommendation forms, and I'm hoping to see you here at Bluffton University soon.
Austin Buckle will lead things off here in the 6th inning. Buckle 0 for 1, and he will swing at the first pitch and lined it into right field for a base hit to lead things off for the Lions.
Yeah, just like that, the Lions get the leadoff runner on. I believe that's the 4th time in 6 innings. They've scored in 3 of those innings, so it's a good start.
Anton Meir at the top of the order. He's 0 for 3 today.
Might give Buckle a shot to steal this. If they don't, Meir likely bunting.
Lead has been cut to 1 as he'll take the pitch outside for a ball.
Still really surprised Meir's not squaring. Hasn't even tried to go bunt. He's got a lot of bunt hits this year.
Meir has grounded out all 3 times. Patton with the pitch. Missed way outside, delayed steal, throw down, not in time.
That should actually go down as a wild pitch because it was out of the zone, and Coach Getsy's going to make the move here already. Patton is not going to get through his second inning work here.
So another pitching change. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for the Pioneers coming up next on IndianaSRN.
Posting on social media back in December, I think 2022 was when I was on winter break from Earlham, and I kind of just started it to, give you something fun to do as well as hopefully make an impact on other baseball players. Within the first week, I had a video get over 500,000 views, and I thought maybe I'm onto something here, and I just kind of ran with it after that. We are at Victory Field in Indianapolis, Indiana, where I'm getting ready to play a banana ball game against the Savannah Bananas. My mom is a big fan of the Savannah Bananas, and she's always wanted me to play for them. She's always told me, you're a great player, you got the talent, but you need something different, right? Everyone's got something on Bananas that they bring to the table that's not just baseball related. So I come home one day, and there's a unicycle in the living room. And my mom's like, I figured it out. You're going to learn how to ride a unicycle to play for the Savannah Bananas. And I laughed. I'm like, all right, Mom, I'll give it a shot. I'm still not there with riding it, but I started a TikTok series about that of me riding this unicycle. Hello, and welcome to day 9 of riding a unicycle until the Savannah Bananas offer me a contract. And that got the attention of Berea College, who's one of the recruiters. And after that, he sent me a DM on Instagram saying they had an opportunity in Savannah, and I signed my contract last April 2024. And I signed that contract to play for the Visitors, who acts as a developmental team for the Savannah Bananas organization. And hopefully you'll see me on one of the main banana teams next year. But for now, this is an opportunity for us 24 guys to show what we have in banana ball that's outside of just a tryout setting. We truly buy into the motto fans first, because nothing's really about you in this, and that's what I love. It's a collaborative effort where, yes, we're competing for something, but we want to give the fans the ultimate experience, ultimate banana ball experience, because this might be their first time at a game, and it's the greatest show in sports at the end of the day, and we want to make sure we bring that to the table.
Gabe Dillard is the new pitcher, and go ahead and give us the numbers on him.
Yeah, Dillard's a fifth-year senior from Old Hickory, Tennessee, 4.0 ERA, 20th appearance of the game is a 3-0 record, 27 innings, has allowed 12 earned runs, 32 strikeouts, and only 7 walks.
And the first pitch is high and inside to Anton Meir.
Another interesting tidbit, when you come in mid-batter like that, everybody thinks it's automatically on the old pitcher, automatically on the new pitcher. A lot of it depends on what the count was, what the result of the at-bat is. So Anton walks. Because he was 2-0, that actually becomes Patton's base runner.
So another walk there for Patton. That'll bring up Jordan Harley. Harley's walked twice. He has scored twice. Trying to get another multi-inning game here from Mount St. Joseph. They scored 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 more in the 5th inning. But now with the runners at first and second, they'll square to bunt, and fouling it away is Harley.
Despite being a left-hander that can really run, Harley's not a great bunter. And he's in a position now where he's not bunting for a hit. You're just trying to get it down in fair territory, hopefully away from the pitcher, but you got enough speed at first and second to where you should be fine. Just get it down.
No balls and a strike. He is showing bunt once again. Pitch came inside, and did it hit him? That's the question. It did. So now the bases are loaded, as Harrison will step to the plate. They're going to say, actually, he offered at it, so that's going to be a strike. So send the runners back.
Coach Jeff Newman's going to come out of the dugout and have a conversation with the umpire about it. Actually, Coach Kittle was having a conversation. Wouldn't be surprised if the umpires get together and discuss this.
Oh, you're on target. We will apparently have a meeting here.
Yeah, I figured they would. Crew Chief Lyle Travis over at first will kind of run this meeting, ask the third base umpire what he saw, home plate umpire what he saw. The pitch clearly hit Harley. I kind of actually think he offered, but I'm not real sure. It's very difficult to change this now, though.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to stay with the call that he offered, and that's what it looks like we're going to stay with. It's one of those spots where it's very difficult to change once you've changed it again. The good thing is you like to see them get together and at least have the conversation.
So 1-2 now to Jordan Harley. Runners will stay at first and second. As Dillard set to throw. And the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. That's a big strike out of Harley.
Very big.
That'll bring up Harrison. Andrew today 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. You know, I like how the umpires, they get together and they all cover their mouth because you don't want anybody reading lips.
Nobody's reading lips at this level. That's for darn tootin'.
Here's the pitch to Harrison, grounded left side on the run. Shiratori gets the force out at third.
That's a heck of a play from Shiratori. That was his only shot at an out. He's not getting an out anywhere else. It's a really, really good play. A good job by Tedesco to not get away from third base. It's one of those spots where if you have a good shortstop, which Shiratori clearly is, he's having that conversation with the third baseman before that ball's hit. Hey, if I'm in the hole, be there. I'm coming towards you. Telling the same thing with the second baseman. If I'm coming up the middle, be there.
So here's Brennan Martin 0 for 2 with a run scored. He walked back in the second inning. And Dillard trying to put out any more threat as this one will be ripped foul to the right.
And down off the end of the bat, Brennan was out in front of that one.
The 0-1 pitch is outside. Patton done for the day, did get 1 inning in, gave up 4 hits. Had a couple of wild pitches on the day as well, as that pitch is low.
Dillard's got to continue to pay attention to Mira. Shiratori's calling out some defensive signs. They did get a pickoff at second base in the series at Mount St. Joseph.
The 2-1 pitch lifted high in the air. It'll stay in the infield. Third baseman Tedesco battling that wind and the high sky makes the out, and Mount St. Joe started a promising inning. They come up empty, but they lead at 7-6.
I chose Franklin College because as soon as I came on campus and I was here for a tour, I just fell in love with the atmosphere, the culture, and the community that exists here. It is literally unlike anything that I've ever seen or witnessed before. Something that Franklin College has really blessed me with is just an amazing group of people to call my own, just a community that I belong to. My name is Maddie, and I found my future at Franklin College.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh Maine lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
So Miller is back out there for another inning of work. A little bit surprising. Lions have had Caden Morris and Josh Isaacs throwing, but But Miller will be out there again just at 89 pitches, so you would think he's got a little more left in the tank, but Transy's hit him pretty good these last couple of innings.
McElfresh will step to the plate. He has scored a run. He has struck out today. As Miller set to throw in his first pitch in their first strike. Today's game brought to you in part by Hampton Inn and Suites here in Kokomo. Enjoy free hot breakfast and free standard Wi-Fi with every stay. Book a room today, 765-205-3194. That pitch up high.
Confident to say that it's batter by batter right now for Miller. If he gives up a base runner, he's probably done. Morris is kind of their emergency inning guy over there, loosening up. He's the one to come in and kind of settle things down when it's going wild.
Each team with 6 hits as that pitch is low. So go to 2 balls and a strike. McElfresh, the number 9 hitter, then back to the top of the order. The 2-1 jammed him. Ground ball, Harrison. The throw to first in time, 1 away. So do all the sports information directors have a big party later tonight, or are you guys kind of done
No,
for the
sir.
day when you...
No, sir. After 4 of these games, it's time to go to bed.
You want everybody just to leave you alone, right?
Maybe a quick shower.
Yeah.
Hopefully don't have to write any stories when I get back to the hotel, and then get some sleep, because it's another long one tomorrow.
It is.
Tomorrow's the hardest day of the tournament.
It is. You're exactly right. Leadoff hitter, it'll be Dillon who will foul the first pitch away. You know, you talk about it earlier with all that goes into putting this whole tournament together, everything from the city of Kokomo to what all of you do and the game notes and all that other stuff. It is quite a production.
It really is, and it's all for the student athletes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we do is a little differently than the high levels. It's all about those young men and women at the softball tournament right now, and this golf tournament starting. It's what it's about.
That one hit well, left center field. Meir on the run, and he won't get to it. That'll be extra bases for Dillon as he'll walk into second with a 1-out double. That ball hung up a little bit, hit about as well as you can there to left center field.
Yeah, we've got a signal over there. The change has been made. We have another pitching change here.
All right, we'll tell you about the new pitcher coming up in a moment here on IndianaSRN.
Hanover College is in beautiful Hanover, Indiana. The campus itself sits on 650 acres on the Ohio River. The people at Hanover College are as warm and welcoming as the campus itself.
There are a few things that come to mind to make me excited for students to join the Hanover OTD program. First, students should be excited about Hanover's OTD program because of its unique curriculum. Our OT program is a hybrid program, meaning that students have the flexibility to remain at home during interactive, engaging discussions and travel to campus during certain times of the year to attend intensive lab immersions. Because of the unique structure of our OTD program, you finish your OTD in 2 years, and that's exciting.
Hanover says it is a place for you to belong, and there's truly a place for every student here finding their own experiences and opportunities at Hanover College.
I chose Hanover College's Occupational Therapy Doctorate program because it's a hybrid program. This is a second career for me, so I love the fact that I am able to do a hybrid schedule and also that it's only a 2-year accelerated program. Since this is going to be a second career, the sooner I can get in and start my new profession, the better. One of the things I'm looking most forward to is being able to collaborate with the instructors and the other students in this program. Since it's a hybrid program, most of it's going to be done online, but I'm still able to be a part of the Hanover community. I want to become an occupational therapist because I want to help the patient with their recovery after the recovery. Most people think of their patients in the sense that they go to the hospital, they're treated and then discharged, or they have physical therapy and they're treated and then discharged. But I want to work with that patient to make sure they are comfortable to come home and resume their normal daily lives and their daily activities, however we need to modify it.
We are very excited about the new lab venue located in Clarksville, Indiana. Plans are underway for renovations to the property.
Back here in Kokomo, brand new pitcher will be Caden Morris.
Caden Morris, senior right-hander from Fairfield, Ohio, 5.71 ERA. This is his 13th appearance. 17 in the third innings. He's struck out 11 and allowed 11 earned runs.
Here is Shiratori at the plate. The first pitch is up high. Tying run down at second base now for Transylvania in Ethan Dillon. Shiratori 0 for 2 with a run scored. Morris with the pitch. There's a called strike.
Shiratori wasn't sure about that call. It kind of ran back to the outside corner, started away from him and came back to the corner.
That wind could be a factor. Any high fly ball into the outfield. They'll turn and throw to second. Tag laid on, but they couldn't get Dillon.
Good gamble there. Had a shot at an out. Dillon was a little bit flat-footed, but got back in pretty easily.
The 1-1 pitch. Lifted foul right side, and giving it a look will be Martin. It'll go out of play.
Shiratori, a very tough young man to strike out. Only struck out 15 times this year in 151 at-bats.
The 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2.
Morris lost his footing a little bit there on that one, looking back at the mound at his landing spot.
Dillon a lead down at second base. Here's the stretch by Morris, and the pitch came a little sidearm that time and fouls it away.
Yeah, went to the sidearm breaking ball. Morris does that from time to time. Gets a little more run on it, but a great job from Shiratori. You see what I'm talking about, where he kind of just puts a little bit of swing out there, contact. It's probably a strike.
Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. That's grounded softly to Mason, who will charge and throw off balance throw, and they got him at first base.
That's a bang-bang play. Once again, a good thing that you have the 4 umpires. In a 2-man crew, that would have been a much tougher call. That's crew chief Lyle Travis over there at first. Good play by Mason. That's a tough play because Shiratori really runs well.
So that'll bring up Tedesco. Couple of RBI today. He is 2 for 3, a run scored. He was a part of that 3-run 5th inning. The pitch on the way is a called strike.
Front door breaking ball to get the at-bat started. Kind of a gutsy call because if Tedesco's looking for it, he could plant that thing over the left field fence and give Transylvania the lead here.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's outside, evens the count at 1-1.
Transylvania, we noticed this in their series at the Mount. They do a great job on the base paths. Their feet are always moving. They're very well coached as base runners.
That's a nice pitch.
Little softer breaking ball there. That was that sidearm breaking ball from Morris. Doesn't have the velocity to blow it by many hitters, but gets it done with command and good breaking stuff.
The 1-2 on the way, got him looking. Great pitch by Morris. That'll do it for Transylvania in the home half of the 6th inning. It's 7-6, Mount St. Joseph.
This summer, I completed an internship at Speedway Indoor Karting, also known as SIK, and this was my 3rd summer with them as an intern. It's literally just a few minutes right down the road from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is where the Indy 500 takes place. One of my favorite things about the internship was that the director of engagement allowed me to focus more on the things that I wanted to look into. So as the summers began going by, I realized that marketing was kind of where I wanted to end up, customer service, communications, that type of stuff, which is why I ended up deciding we narrowed down my position to becoming the marketing intern. And so a lot of my day-to-day now, my main focus is social media. So I run SIK's LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I deal with customer service through that. I also make all of the social media posts. I create the content calendar for the entire year. And then I also work from home for them during the school year. So I work from Manchester. This internship allowed me to build my resume, experience things that other students may not get to experience. I feel like it'll put me in a better position to be more qualified for jobs after I graduate. Even on top of that, I've already received my first job offer from them. So my internship already gave me an opportunity outside of college, which is better than what most people can say as they're heading into the workforce. The past 2 years, I've actually never been karting inside of SIK. I've always been on the office side of things. So this summer was my first time that I actually got to go karting at SIK. And
back once again here in Kokomo. From first-year phenoms to senior standouts, HCAC athletes rise together. We head to the top of inning number 7. Sanders, Mason, and Moore all due up, and the first pitch swung on and hit deep to center field. As Dylan is there as he battles that sky and the wind and makes the catch for out number 1. And that'll bring up Ethan Mason.
Yeah, good job there. Transy retires Sanders for the first time.
Mason 1 for 3 today. Had a single back in the 5th inning. As Dillard back in for another inning of work, and the breaking pitch in there for a strike.
So far, Dillard looks very sharp.
Yeah. Dylan comes set, and the pitch grounded toward the shortstop. Shiratori, quick release, and there's 2 away.
Shiratori's got really good hands, man. Really good hands.
Well, he got rid of that quickly, too. That'll bring up now Sean Moore. Moore 1 for 1 today, has a walk to his credit, a sacrifice as well as driven in a run. And Dillard set to throw, and his pitch lifted high right side. Taylor, foul territory. He too will have to battle the wind and ran out of room as that one fell right at the base of the fence.
Thought we were going to have our first real quick inning of the day.
We will have the Hampton Inn & Suites trivia question coming up. The first one I didn't like at all.
I tried to get him to give it to me so I could look it up and sound smart, but Keith didn't like that idea.
There's a swing and a miss. He had to go. The first one was back in 1954. None of us were even alive in 1954.
I might accidentally Google it as he's asking.
Okay. No balls, 2 strikes now to Sean Moore. The pitch. Got him swinging. Quick inning there. 1-2-3 inning. As Mount St. Joseph comes up empty, it stays 7-6. Time for the Hampton Inn & Suites trivia question. And so you'll have to give up your headset, and Keith is back. What have you been doing all day since you...
Been working hard.
I bet, yeah.
Been working really hard. Here we go.
We're ready.
This Dodger was a captain of the 1965 Naval Academy basketball team. Name him.
You want to give me that to me again?
This Dodger was the captain of the 1965 Naval Academy baseball team. Name him.
Pee Wee Reese.
We'll take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh Maine lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles,
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
it matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Here's the question again.
Yes.
This Dodger was a captain of the 1965 Naval Academy baseball team. Name him. It was Roger Staubach, the Dodger. Thank you very much.
We got some questions.
You're talking Roger the Dodger Staubach.
Yeah.
That's a little different spelling of Dodger.
Pitch is inside to Mitchum. 1 for 3 today. So it wasn't actually a Dodger.
He wasn't an L.A. Dodger.
No. Or a Brooklyn Dodger. Swing and a miss.
Lions' new pitcher is Josh Isaacs. Josh Isaacs is 3.68 ERA, 15th appearance, 4-2 record, 26 strikeouts, and 24 2/3.
That's going to be popped up foul. See, I think that was a lame question. I think in L.A. Dodgers, and it was Roger the Dodger quarterback.
I don't like the trick questions, Keith.
No, I don't
I want
either.
ones with real answers, please. I'm bad enough at sports trivia.
Yeah, me too. That one's going to be lined up the middle, base hit. So Isaacs gives up the single. As Mitchum on base, that'll bring up Austin Taylor.
Taylor's had a fantastic ball game.
I think we should come up with a question on the next one. Something that's a little more legitimate. He's trying to cross sports all the time and now using...
We're at a baseball tournament. It should be a baseball question.
Yeah, it shouldn't be mixed up with football or basketball. Taylor been on base all 3 times.
Got a question for him. Where's Roger Staubach from and what high school did he go to?
Oh, I bet he doesn't know that.
Where'd Keith go?
Nowhere to be found now.
Roger Staubach of Cincinnati, Ohio fame.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Went to Purcell High School.
There's a nice pitch in there for a strike.
My question for you is, where's Roger Staubach from? Where'd he go to high school? Purcell High School in Cincinnati, Ohio.
He heard you say Cincinnati, by the way.
I know he did. He's listening.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hit foul.
Good job by Taylor there to stay alive on a tough 0-2 pitch.
Hey, can you give us just a baseball one without crossing over to all the other sports?
Dude, last year you made fun of me because it was too easy. This year I'm 2-0 and you're upset. You're 0 for 2.
You're misleading, though.
I'm not misleading.
We were thinking Dodger as in L.A. Dodgers. No balls, 2 strikes. Taylor back in. The pitch on the way. High in the air, left field. Harley, a few steps to his left, will make the catch, and Mitchum will return back to first. 1 away. Chris Hettinger will step to the plate. 0 for 3 today, including a strikeout. Back in the 3rd inning.
This is getting late quickly here. And both teams are running out of outs, so it's going to be decided quickly. Something's going to happen in this ball game that's unexpected that will decide it.
Isaacs will throw to first.
An error, a pickoff, a pass ball, something that you don't typically expect. It will be the decider in this 1-run ball game.
And we saw that happen in the first game. That base running error at first base was costly. Popped it up. Second baseman Buckle is there. Mason, the shortstop, coming in to make the catch. 2 away.
I think Buckle lost that as soon as it got above the press box. The Lions thought it was hit way further than that. They would have likely gotten out either way if even it hits the ground, but because there's nowhere for the base runner at first to go.
Houston Manning came up with that big base hit in the 5th inning.
Kind of the story of the game right now for Trans. He was Manning with that 2-out, 2-run single. And kind of get him back in this ball game.
Boy, he really battled in that 5th inning. First look here at Isaacs and the pitch in there for a strike.
Josh Isaacs, a big, tall, right-handed pitcher. Kind of gets downhill, throws it at the bottom of the zone. Another mid-80s guy.
The 0-1 pitch, check swing. And he did not go around.
I got that one right.
Isaacs trying to keep Transylvania in check here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Houston Manning. The pitch is outside, 2-1. You finding us a better trivia question yet?
No. Trying to do my regular job while I'm sitting here while we're trying to broadcast this ball game. Got to have stuff ready to go for after this game.
I hear you.
As much as I enjoy doing the play-by-play, they don't pay me for that part.
You mean you're doing this for nothing?
Yeah. I'm asking Jerry for some money when we get done. I need Keith's pay for this one.
Boy, don't you should. 3 balls and a strike now to Houston Manning. Mitchum the lead at first. And the 3-1 pitch on the way. Boy, that didn't miss by a whole lot.
Ooh, Gutzweiler even pointed at Isaacs thinking that was a strike.
First walk given up by Isaacs, and that'll bring up now Bryce Dreher. Dreher's walked twice today. Will have a pinch runner down at first base. As coming into the lineup now for Transylvania. Get the change here in a moment. That'll be number 43, Camden McAtee.
McAtee really runs well on the backside of this play. Not as big of a deal with 2 outs here in this inning. Should Dreher find a gap, McAtee could easily give them the lead.
2 away here in the 7th. The pitch by Isaacs. Swing and a miss.
Reach back for a little bit extra on that one.
Mitchum down at second base, McAtee at first. Isaacs with the 0-1. That's a nice pitch in there for a strike.
Dot the outside corner there. Even with all these runs scored in this ball game, the starters are still the pitchers of record, so Bowles is still in line to lose it currently, and Miller in line to win it, should the result hold.
No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, and it missed low.
It's a good 0-2 miss. Your Isaacs on the mound, you just take a deep breath. You're not worried about the base runners. They mean nothing. Attack the guy at the plate.
2 away here in the 7th. 7-6 Mount St. Joseph. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Got him swinging. High heat inside. And Dreher strikes out. They'll leave 2 runners on. We head to the 8th. 7-6 Mount St. Joseph.
My name's Nate Chambers, and I'm a CICU nurse intern. Every day does look different. A lot of it's just assessments and medication administration. A lot of learning about all the defects we deal with here on the CICU. You never know what you're walking into, and it's part of the reason why I love my job. So I did my undergrad at the Mount. I graduated in 2019 with my biology degree. Made a very late game switch to nursing and got my master's in nursing, graduating in 2024. It was very challenging. We covered different aspects of all different kinds of sciences. We did professionalism, and so it prepared me for all things that we covered in my job. Then it also taught me how to interact with my coworkers, be professional in the workplace, and care for families and these sick kids. Dr. McPherson had the biggest impact on me. She was my PEDS instructor and then director of the program. When you think of a director of the program, you think of a very higher up that isn't going to interact with you much, but having her as a PEDS instructor, it almost was like she was one of us, and she understood how to keep us engaged, how to get the most out of our learning. I don't know, the actual science of everything we learned, I was kind of expecting to cross throughout this program, but just being able to have that light bulb moment of knowing what I wanted to do was the biggest thing. She's the reason that I wanted to work with kids. I had no interest working in pediatrics when I started the program, and I did my rotation and had my class with her, and she pretty much paved the way for me to come here.
Driven by passion, powered by purpose, HCAC athletes set the standard as we move now to the 8th. It'll be Gutzweiler, Buckle, and Meir all due up for Mount St. Joseph. Dillard back out for another inning of work. That one's hit well, base hit left field.
Yeah, Gutzweiler ambushed the first pitch fastball there. He had went down on strikes in his first 3 at bats. That's a good start for the Lions here in the top of the 8th.
That'll bring up now Austin Buckle. Buckle walked and scored in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th, and singled in the 6th inning.
This is another bunt situation for the Lions. Buckle runs well, so it puts some pressure on the defense if he gets it down.
He showed bunt, but the pitch is up high. There's a right-hander throwing in the Lions bullpen.
It's number 27, Ian Bush. Freshman right-hander.
Dillard checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way, bunted. Coming off the mound is Dillard. His only play will be at first, and a bang-bang play it was. Nice hustle there by Austin Buckle.
As I said, Buckle gets down the line pretty good. He puts some pressure on you when he bunts.
Here's Anton Meir. Meir 0 for 3 with a walk. So they have a runner now in scoring position. That could be a big insurance run down at second base with a 7-6 lead. Dillard's pitch on the way, in there for a strike. Game 3 coming up. It's scheduled for 4:30. That might be a stretch.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because we do 45 minutes between games no matter what.
Here's the 0-1. Hit foul. So what you're telling me is that we'll probably see the last game scheduled for 7:45 unless it's really fast. Going to be kind of late?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's why you were kind of saying you're not going to party later tonight. So it's going to be late.
Yeah, no, we're not. There's no partying tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we might have a drink.
There you go.
A drink.
A drink. The 0-2 pitch missed high. So the count at 1-2. Again, one away here in the bottom of inning number 8. Should say top of inning number 8. Meir, the leadoff hitter, back in as Dillard checking the runner at second of the pitch. Grounded right side. Could be a tough play. Nice job by Dillard to reach up and snag that one. Makes the play at first. And Gutzweiler will advance on to third.
That's a really impressive play by Dillard. Got off the mound quickly. Worked his way towards Taylor at first base and went with the underhand flip. If that ball gets past Dillard, it's likely an infield single for Meir.
That'll bring up Jordan Harley. Harley, a couple of runs today. He has scored twice. He's 0 for 2 officially. As he steps in from the left side, takes the pitch low for a ball. Gutzweiler, the lead down at third. The pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and Harley a little bit off balance on that swing.
Yeah, he has a tendency to get like that. When he's going well, the balance is great, and then he gets off balance and really struggles.
Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch. Swing and a miss again. Boy, he's got some happy feet right now, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it's kind of typical of his swing, but he still finds a way to stay on plane. He's moving out of the box usually when he makes contact. That's why he gets so many infield hits.
The 1-2 pitch, grounded to the second baseman, Mitchum. He'll scoop and throw, and Gutzweiler left stranded here in the 8th inning. Mount St. Joe leads at 7-6.
My first role model was definitely my dad, because he was an engineering major.
My mother's in this field, so it kind of got me interested in it.
The fun is actually learning it, getting through all these experiences, having people around you that you can celebrate things with. That makes it very different.
You know, this school changed my life.
Here tonight
I would remind you that the Stone Age did not end because of a lack of stones. Every major advance in civilization is a result of innovation.
So Rose-Hulman coming up on 150 years. The feeling that I have as a
Well, the new pitcher coming out now for the Lions is
freshman right-hander Ian Bush. This is his 11th appearance of the season. 4.15 ERA, 13 innings, 12 strikeouts, only 7 walks. Has seen his role increase as the season has gone along for this Lions bullpen.
And he'll be facing Colin McElfresh at the bottom of the order as that pitch is outside 1-0. McElfresh, Dillon, and Shiratori will go 9-1-2 here in the home half of the 8th inning.
Really big spot here for the Lions. You can throw up another 0.
That pitch in there for a strike.
Bush, kind of an old school pitcher, comes straight over the top. Another mid-80s guy for the Lions.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. High hopper over the outstretched arm of Harrison at third. Mason able to get to it, but that'll be an infield base hit from McElfresh.
Yeah, Harrison was drawn in with the threat of the bunt.
That'll bring up now Ethan Dillon. Manchester plays the winner of this game at 4:30 this afternoon. That is the scheduled start time, but all indications now we will not get underway at 4:30. Transylvania has left 8 runners on base. Dillon lays down the bunt, but bunts it foul.
Yeah, kind of stabbing at it with that bunt attempt.
Dillon is 1 for 3, by the way, had a single back in the 6th inning.
Looks like he was trying to push that to the right side to give himself a chance at a hit. And if you're up there sacrificing, the whole idea is to bunt it to the third baseman.
He'll square to bunt once again, first base side. Bush, the only play he has a high throw, and the first baseman, I should say the second baseman, Buckle, able to come over and make the play. You had Martin charging in, and Buckle able to make the play at first.
It goes down to the 1-4 sacrifice bunt. Transylvania wanted to call for Buckle being off the bag, but it looked like he kept his foot on it, just really outstretched.
That'll bring up Shiratori. 0 for 3 with a run scored. You know, that's not an easy play to make when you're the second baseman. Buckle have to cover that kind of ground.
Yeah, Buckle's about 5'9". You go from having a 6'6" first baseman to a 5'9" second baseman covering first base. It changes the throwing angle quite a bit.
So McElfresh down at second base as Shiratori jumps ahead in the count at 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch and the pitch is low for a ball.
Couple spots like this in the series at the Mount. Transy tried to steal third base, and were unsuccessful a couple of times, so I'm not sure if they're going to try to do it or not, but they are not afraid to try.
The 2-0 pitch is a called strike. So we'll go to 2-1 with 1 out, runner at second.
Once again, staring out at McElfresh, very impressed with the base running technique of the Transylvania Pioneers, continuously moving.
Pitch low and inside. Baxter Tedesco is next. Couple of base hits. He's driven in a couple of runs. Still just 1 out. We play here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bush will come set. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Lined up the middle. Nearly got a piece of Bush. Rounding third, heading home is McElfresh. Here's the throw to the plate. And did he get him? Yes. Great throw by Meir in center field to get the out at home.
Unbelievable. I didn't think the Lions had a shot in heck to get that out. Great throw by Anton Meir. I almost said it was a mistake to throw it there because I'm surprised Shiratori didn't advance the second. We're going to see a replay of this throw, or the tag. You see Gutzweiler does a really good job of presenting a good target to his throw, staying up the line and getting the tag. That's a really good play by both sides of that, the throw and the tag.
Boy, and no doubter, and the best throw we have seen of the day by Anton Meir. Here's a pop-up to the right side. Buckle going out. That's going to be trouble. It falls in as Sanders can't get to it, and they will hold the runners at second and third.
That's a really tough play. Buckle had to go a long way. Lost it at one point. Not sure how Mr. Hanefeld's going to score that. It's tough to not call it a double, but it's a ball that has to be caught.
Yep, this is trouble.
Buckle, as you can see, shaded up the middle. Sanders trying to come a long way from right field. Buckle, you see him shading his eyes there, and then has to try to break back in. And in hindsight, that's probably Brennan Martin's ball to go get at first base. But off the bat, I think they thought that was a fly out to right field.
Got a new pitcher coming in. We'll tell you about the new pitcher next here on IndianaSRN.
Ghost Fox comes from Japanese superstition, so we spent 3 years in Japan, and that's where our winemaking really started to grow. And in Japan, when you answer the phone, you say moshi moshi, and you get a moshi moshi in response. And the idea is that foxes can't say moshi, and ghosts can't say it twice, and so you're doing that to ward off any sort of trickster spirits, and so we thought that was kind of a cute way of paying homage to our beginnings.
The first thing I think of when I think about Transy are friendships, Josh being one of them. He was one of my first friends at Transy, and that friendship has lasted for our lifetime. But we also made really strong friendships with other people there, and that is what I get from Transy, is strong friendships.
When I arrived at Transy, essentially the first person I met, we were on the cross-country team together. We met 2 weeks before school.
By the way, new pitcher here for Mount St. Joe.
Lefty Ryan Caulfield. He's the team's closer. 1.53 ERA, 15 appearances, 3 starts. They were all as an opener. Has 3 saves and 17 2/3, 20 strikeouts, just 5 walks.
Lions trying to avoid another run across the plate. 7-6 score as Henry Mitchum at the plate. Couple of base hits here today, and he'll take that one for a strike, and the count even at 1-1.
Caulfield is your prototypical crafty lefty. Gets it done with smoke and mirrors at times, but he typically gets it done.
Here's the pitch on the way. High fly ball. Mason going back on it, and Mason will make the catch to end the threat here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. Mount St. Joe leading it 7-6.
Hey, my name is Ian Oshel. I'm an Anderson University grad of 2017, and I am soon to be a resident emergency physician at University of New Mexico. When I first started at AU in 2013, one of my first classes was an English class which focused on an ethnography project, which essentially means a study of a people group. I remember seeing a poster session for the Christian Center, which involves students going to the local homeless shelter and getting to engage with the homeless population of Anderson, Indiana. Instead of simply being an outreach where you serve meals to the homeless community, we had the opportunity to cross the threshold and get to eat meals with the community and get to learn about their stories and build relationships. What I initially perceived as a simplistic issue of homelessness became something so heterogeneous and so dynamic, but really expanded my perspective on the future and what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. When I made the decision to go into emergency medicine, it was one that was very much as though it had fallen into my lap, realizing that all the time I'd spent at the shelter paralleled very well with all the things that happened in the emergency department. But as I reflect on my own story, I'm thankful for all.
got him.
Matt Armstrong.
Yep. All right, so we're back here. New pitcher for Transylvania is number 4, Matt Armstrong, fifth-year senior from Louisville, Kentucky. He comes in with a 3.18 ERA, 17th appearance. He does have a start in 17 innings, 13 strikeouts, only 6 walks.
He'll try to close it out as Mount St. Joseph first pitch hitting as Harrison grounds to third, and Tedesco makes the play, and there's quickly one away here in the ninth.
Quickly, we have a final from the softball tournament. Rose-Hulman did beat Earlham, so they will take on Mount St. Joseph in the nightcap down there tonight.
Here's Brendan Martin. Martin 0 for 3 with a run scored. He did walk back in the second inning. We saw Armstrong over in Terre Haute over the weekend as that pitch is outside for a ball. Winner will play about 45 minutes after this one. That one's hit well into right field. McElfresh going back on it, makes the catch on the run.
That's a heck of an effort out there by McElfresh. That ball was hit really hard. If it's hit up into the air a little better, might have the gas to get out of here.
Well, that'll bring up now Jake Sanders. Sanders, a couple of runs scored. He has 3 hits, 3 runs driven in. And Armstrong's pitch is on the way, and it's up high for a ball. The 1-0 pitch on the way, hit well into left field. Henninger is back on it. He will not get to this one as that will bounce off the wall. Dillon is there as well, and a double, a 2-out double there for Sanders.
Yeah, his third double of the ball game. Have a game, young man. Jake Sanders is trying to single-handedly get his team through this ball game.
And that'll bring up Ethan Mason. Mason 1 for 4 today, but has the tying run down at second base. Or I should say the insurance run as they lead it 7-6. The pitch on the way is in there for a called strike.
Really good front door breaking ball there from Armstrong to get that at bat started with Mason.
Mason picked up his single back in the 5th inning. Armstrong will come set. And the 0-1 pitch grounded toward the third baseman, Tedesco. His throw to first base in time. So the double is for naught. But we will head to the bottom half of the 9th inning, 7-6 Mount St. Joseph.
A lawyer, I was a business major, and when I was in Berea, the idea of having to take colonial studies and art history and all these other things that had no direct bearing on my anticipated career path seemed like a waste of time to me. 15 years or so into my career, I realized that the general studies courses may have been the most valuable courses I took in college. Now, as a lawyer, and if I had known I wanted to be a lawyer, I might have chosen differently my majors in Berea and be more political science, philosophy, to gaze more deeply in the realms of the mind than the very practical, very useful, very
HCAC athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. We move to the bottom of the 9th inning. Taylor, Henninger, and McAtee all due up for Transylvania. They need one to tie this one. Caulfield back in for another inning of work. He got the one out he needed in that 8th inning. And the left-hander set to throw, and this will be off the end of the bat. Grounded to Buckle, the second baseman. His throw to first, 1 out.
Yeah, went a long way to get that one. Made a nice play. He was shaded up the middle.
That'll bring up now Henninger. 0 for 4 today. So now the Pioneers down to their last 2 outs. This one hit into left field. Harley coming on, and 2 quick outs. And now it'll be McAtee. Unless we have a pinch hitter here. Looks like that might be number 31 for Transylvania.
Number 31 is Max Finn. Played right field in our games a couple weeks ago. Swings it pretty good. I think he actually hit a home run in that series.
Yeah, we saw Finn over at Rose-Hulman this past weekend, and he'll take that pitch in there for a strike.
Caulfield looking to get his 4th save of the season here.
MSJ, the number 5 seed. If you look at the seeds, it'd be an upset. A 5 over a 4, not much though.
Troy, I said it when we started this broadcast, man. In this tournament, there's not going to be a single upset. It doesn't matter. It can be 6 over 1. This team is so balanced.
That one's popped up into center field, and coming on will be Meir to make the catch, and that's going to do it. Mount St. Joseph holding off Transylvania 7-6.
Yeah, big win here for the Lions. Transy will go into the losers bracket. We'll see them again tomorrow morning. They'll wait to see who they play. But we'll head into this next ball game. The Lions will play Manchester here in about 45 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you look at this ball game at 7-6, a lot of key plays, a lot of big hits and such. So we're looking at the next game at 4:45. And so we hope you'll join us. Oh, Blake's got work to do. Blake, good to see you again, sir. I guess
Troy,
we'll see you in Game 4.
Thank you for allowing me to join you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jerry, for producing. Heck of a job you guys do.
So Mount St. Joseph, again, will play in 45 minutes. They're going to take on the number 1 seed, Manchester, who comes in with their conference record at 15-7. They are the number 1 seed. But a big win here by Mount St. Joseph as they win it 7-6. By the way, you can check out the box score on the HCAC website. You can also check it out on the Mount St. Joseph website as well. They'll have there all the details of our second game. So 2 games in the books, 2 more to go. We'll have them both right here on IndianaSRN.